He doesn't let them get the better of him. But yesterday, viewers, he wanted to make a point. He wanted to go out there and talk about how he believes that there is a ecosystem of, as he called them, neutral, supposedly neutral individuals who have become, in his words, thekedars of the narrative and build, viewers, and spin stories about the work he does, about the manner in which he sees and practices his politics. The Prime Minister says that he has always been mocked and criticized. In fact, he says that it's not just criticism. There is now a new endeavor, which is to literally tear him apart. He used the colloquial term dhajji urana in his speech yesterday, viewers. He says, but that doesn't deter him. It only makes him more alert. It makes him also more determined. But he did say that if these individuals call themselves neutral, then they must be neutral. Why do they change their colors? And he speaks specifically about election times. He says before an election, these neutrals suddenly assume a partisan position where they begin to color the narrative, color the canvas of the conversation. But an assessment of the election results, viewers, is never honest. And therefore, they very quickly also change their colors. The Prime Minister says the time has come for the nation to now know the games that are being played by these so-called neutrals. And that the time has come that a war must be waged against the negative forces that only want to divide the country, to weaken the country. Listen into what this message sounded like from the Prime Minister's own mouth, viewers. For a while, he abandoned the script of restraint and allowed you to see an aspect of him that he keeps clearly hidden away from the public glare. Listen into this.
शायद मेरे जीवन का कोई पल ऐसा नहीं गया, कोई कदम ऐसा नहीं रहा जिसकी धज्जियां न उड़ा दी गई हो, जिसकी आलोचना नहीं, धज्जियां उड़ा देना, बाल नोच लेना। लेकिन इसका मुझे बहुत फायदा हुआ क्योंकि मैं हमेशा सतर्क रहा। पिछले कुछ चुनावों का एक बड़े कैनवास पर एनालिसिस करना चाहिए कि जो अपने आप को न्यूट्रल कहते हैं, जिनका न्यूट्रल होना जरूरी होता है, वो कहां खड़े होते हैं, कब कैसे रंग बदलते हैं और कैसे कैसे खेल खेलते हैं, वो अब देश को जान लेना बहुत जरूरी है। उन लोगों को भी जानना चाहिए, पहचानना चाहिए कि ये भी ठेकेदार है। समाज के बीच दूरियां बढ़ाकर राष्ट्र के सामने नई चुनौतियां खड़ी करके जो राजनीतिक दल तत्कालिक लाभ लेने की फिराक में रहते हैं, उन्हें देश की जनता, देश की युवा पीढ़ी देख भी रही है और समझ भी रही है।
Viewers, the opposition was quick to respond on behalf of these neutrals. One doesn't know why they felt the compulsion to respond to an attack really on individuals that at least ostensibly have nothing to do with them. But nonetheless, the opposition was very quick off the blocks this morning. Large number of reactions came in, not just from the various satraps in parliament, but also from beyond. Listen in, viewers.
It is the BJP who is doing this job. It is not the Congress party. It is the BJP who is creating disharmony.
This is height of double standards in the address of the PM to the nation. I will advise Honorable Prime Minister to preach what they practice. They are talking about social disharmony and creation of social disharmony. Everyone knows which political party and which leader does social disharmony, such communal disharmony, and they only want to have the society fragmented on the caste and religion lines and reaping political benefit out of it. It is the BJP, we all know.
और जो आज नफरत की राजनीति है, जो आज समाज के अंदर विभेद की राजनीति है, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं के बयान और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के द्वारा अपने एजेंडे को आगे बढ़ाने की राजनीति के कारण ऐसी स्थिति देखने को मिल रही है। भारत की जो अन्य पार्टियां हैं वो तो चाहती हैं कि देश में समृद्ध समाज का निर्माण हो।
Now viewers, you've heard both sides, and let's just put this up for a fact check, a critical evaluation. What is upsetting the Prime Minister? Let's have a look. Fakery. Prime Minister's visit to Morbi cost rupees 30 crores. This was a claim made by just before the Gujarat elections, of course, by a leading spokesperson of the TMC. The PIB came out with a fact check saying that the RTI neither received nor was it replied to. It misrepresented facts with malicious intent. In fact, what was quoted by the TMC spokesperson was some sort of a morphed story that had appeared in the media. That is what the government said, viewers. Another instance was when a leading news magazine came out and said that the BJP has the power to remove online posts, and it ran a series of reports, viewers. A fact check revealed, exposed the magazine that was forced to admit that they got fraudulent information which they failed to verify, and they published it. But nonetheless, viewers, that led to many developments, not to mention the fact that certain international agencies that call themselves the gold standard of assessing democracies around the world rated India very poorly on its index. So there were very serious repercussions, nationally and internationally. Then there was this instance, viewers, where during the Rafale deal, so-called exposés, a leading newspaper published a certain note. The fact check revealed that the note was quoted very selectively, and the Supreme Court, in fact, gave the Rafale deal a clean chit. But viewers, for a while, that did have a massive impact on the public mood ahead of the 2019 elections. Then there was an article that claimed Chinese troops had basically occupied finger 2 and 3 in the Pangong Tso area, which was a clear violation of the international territorial line, the LAC, on the Indian side, viewers. A fact check revealed that the army itself had come out and refuted this claim as a fake one. Once again, of course, viewers, India was made to look weak, its international image took a dent, and there was, of course, domestic politics, which had the potential to influence public opinion negatively. Then there was a claim, viewers, that was made that the opposition believed that only 151 trains had been privatized. As we know, viewers, Apologies for the spelling mistake there in the graphic, but as we know, viewers, that this claim was also negated as one not based on facts. Of course, viewers, it's not as if the opposition has not attacked the BJP and sometimes the BJP's leading spokespeople. For example, agencies linked Gautam Navlakha to anti-national activities. The Supreme Court recently said, can you convict him for writing Dear Comrade? Taking a slightly dim view of the investigative agencies. Of course, the matter is still sub judice, but I'm only quoting what the Supreme Court observed. There was a tweet that was put out in the public domain by a BJP spokesperson saying that the Congress had prepared a toolkit to corner the Prime Minister. Twitter tagged that post as manipulated media. Another spokesperson tweeted a video claiming there was no lathi charge on farmers. Again, Twitter tagged the BJP tweet as manipulated media. And there are some other examples of how India slipped to 164th rank in fastest growing nations, but PBI fact-checked that claim as fake one. So, viewers, on either side, there have been, of course, instances when fake news has been used or propaganda has been used to try and paint pictures. But has the Prime Minister suffered excessively? That's the fundamental question. I want to open this up and ask the Bharatiya Janata Party's national spokesperson first. Sanju Verma, thank you for speaking tonight. I want to ask you a very straightforward question. Can you give me some reasons why the Prime Minister has singled out neutrals, obviously in civil society, for this sort of contempt, so to speak? Why does he believe that they are aligned against him, they're biased, they have, as he used the word, potential to dhajji urao?
Rahul, first and foremost, I think you gave an excellent introduction which just about covered every aspect of the fake narrative that has been built, especially over the last 8 years, ever since Narendra Modi stormed to power as the Prime Minister and took charge of the reins in Delhi in 2014. Not to mention that he has been criticized and demonized and vilified and sullied and maligned over 20 years of his career in public life. I think without being too verbose, let me cut straight to the chase. And the limited point is this, particularly with respect to Gujarat, let's be very clear, it's not lost on anyone, Rahul, that for over 2 decades, the Gujarat model has come under severe and sharp criticism by an ecosystem. That is why I said on a couple of debates, including on your channel, that the BJP's landslide in Gujarat is not BJP versus Congress or BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party. It is not a victory of BJP versus XYZ political parties. It is a victory of BJP versus an entire ecosystem. An ecosystem which obviously has political parties, but more obviously, which should be acknowledged by a lot of people, which they fail to do, is that it's an ecosystem comprising leftists, academicians, so-called intelligentsia, people who've spared no effort to run down Narendra Modi personally, from his personal life being discussed, from his child marriage being discussed, to the manner in which he meets his mother and takes her blessings, that being discussed, to the fact that even after the Supreme Court, I say this to your audience, even after the Supreme Court in June this year completely abdicated Narendra Modi of any kind of criminal conspiracy with respect to the Godha riots. What happened? You saw the likes of Ajay Makan, Jairam Ramesh and a whole host of opposition leaders gathering at Jantar Mantar to stand in solidarity with Teesta Setalwad, whom the Supreme Court said, quote unquote, she acted with a malafide intent to keep the pot boiling. Name me one other democracy, name one other country where the top ranked judiciary actually abdicates the incumbent government and there is still an opposition which stands in solidarity with the perpetrator, with the aggressor. somebody who's been spreading canards through the last 2 decades. I think that is the crux of the entire issue. Look at the Ahmedabad tiffin blast case, which left close to 5 dozen people dead. After Justice A.R. Patel announced the judgment and a Samajwadi Party leader's son was involved, what was the narrative? Modi sarkar hai, abhi opposition ko to ye victimization jhelna padega. And last but not the least, I'll take 20 seconds to tell you this. What was the narrative in the last 24 to 48 hours? In fact, ever since exit polls came out, the narrative being peddled, and I'm not going to hold back my punches. I am emotive, and I don't think today I need to be the larger person. Let me be as straight as it gets. Before the campaigning started in earnest, Arvind Kejriwal said, इस बार गुजरात में झाड़ू लगने वाला है, बीजेपी जाएगी, हम आएंगे. आईबी रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक हमको 90-92 सीट्स मिलेंगी. एंड ही एडेड, ये बड़े गंदे लोग हैं, इनसे डर कर रहिए, हमको 150 जरूर दिलवाइए, नहीं तो ये गंदे लोग हमारी सरकार बनने नहीं देंगे. Who was he alluding to in terms of gande log? It was the Narendra Modi led Bharatiya Janata Party and the Modi government. The limited point I'm trying to make is, what was the narrative then? Kejriwal will storm Gujarat, decimate BJP. What was the narrative in the last 24 to 48 hours? Ever since exit polls said that he will not get more than 15 to 20% vote share, an entire cabal of journalists said, oh, but he's bigger in a national party, so what if he's not able to decimate the BJP? That is the false narrative that the PM was alluding to, no holds barred.
Well, of course, there have been other instances that have been talked about in depth. For example, Medha Patkar and a group of NGOs who went on quite a mission against the Sardar Sarovar Dam, etc. Viewers, there have been instances, no doubt. But let me get the other side in. Lokesh Jindal, Smita Prakash is also there, not that she's on the other side. She's a neutral, not the neutral of the kind that Mr. Modi is, of course, described, but an upstanding journalist. Smita Prakash, let me first come to you before I bring in the Congress and Mr. Ashutosh and Ishkan Bhandari and Rijiju Da of the TMC. Smita Prakash, I know that in some quarters, certain custodians have referred to other media as, for example, pliable. They have said that there is something called a Godi media and Todi media and God knows what else, in an attempt to sort of color perceptions. Does this also extend into the political domain against the Prime Minister, etc.? I mean, you faced it. Is there truth to what the Prime Minister is saying?
Yeah. Thank you. In fact, Rahul, yesterday when I heard the Prime Minister's speech to party workers, this was a very significant part of his speech, and I was really amazed that the 9 p.m. bulletins didn't catch on to that. The fact that he, like you said, deviated from his usual, what he would say to his party workers after winning the election. I mean, these terms which you have said, neutral is not something which should be a pejorative term, agreed. But then in that cloak of neutrality, the agenda-driven journalism or agenda-driven fact-checking which is done, it's there for all to see, and the Prime Minister called it out, and it's high time that it is called out from the highest office. I mean, he said those who are supposed to be neutral in analysis claim to be neutral. They're actually politically motivated, something that most of us are seeing it day in and day out. He called them thekedars. Now that there can't be a worse term than using the word thekedars. It's a strong indictment. And why did he say this? Just now you just heard this entire spiel about how he's been targeted, and it's been motivated targeting of Modi since 2002. It's not constructive criticism but vicious and targeted attacks intended to destabilize his government since 2002 and wreak havoc in the state. Why? Against the people of the state for electing him again and again. Not that, that he was guilty of the riots of 2002 or anything. He got a clean chit. But whether it was the Narmada Dam movement, as you mentioned, preventing him from getting an American visa, amplifying various charges for aiding rioting, there was this relentless thing which was going on for 10-15 years. Now what happens is that the insidious part, Rahul, is that, you go on repeating, then even people like normal people like us think, maybe there is a grain of truth in it.
Okay,
maybe
but let me
there is
ask
something
you,
to it.
this is important.
Because you're bombarded with that all the time in newspapers and magazines.
Sure.
That is why.
But can I ask you, some people will say that today the Prime Minister is basically, he's sort of resorting to a kind of labeling of what is dissent, of what is constructive criticism, and by using words like thekedar, etc., he is also indulging in a game of sort of maliciously sort of maligning those that have stood against or criticized him. And there are some examples of individuals who lay claim to that sort of that sort of outlook. How do you respond to that, Smita Prakash? Because there will be people who will say this. In fact, they are. The Congress, etc., are saying it.
See, he's not a Sant Mahatma. He's not a saint, right? He's a politician. He's human. He's talking to his people. And what was he saying? He said that you guys have to work with this sole agenda. What did he, in fact, Rahul, I mentioned this yesterday in one of your shows also, where when he was talking to his people, he said that, we are told that we have an election machinery, that we are a mechanism that wins elections, but it's not done something which we have sacrificed our personal goals, ambition, lifestyle, needs, everything in this social service. And then he says that be ready that because you have done this selfless service. And then he mentions the Chief Minister of Gujarat, who is won with this stupendous majority. And then there are these other people who have even lost their deposit in Himachal Pradesh, as they lost in Uttarakhand, and they never get mentioned in newspaper reports. They never got mentioned yesterday in TV analysis that they lost their deposits also. Right? Every AAP candidate lost his deposit, his or her deposit in Himachal Pradesh. Was that mentioned in analysis? It wasn't mentioned. All that was talked about was that they have become a national party. So he is talking as a BJP politician when he talks to his people to say that this gentrified language that is used in television studios, he didn't mention television studios, but he talked about this elitist hypocrisy that is done in cloaking of this language, but actually it is a tool, a political tool, which is being done not by politicians, but by people who claim to be neutrals. That is what he was trying to say.
Okay, let me bring in Ashutosh ji. Ashutosh ji, you've of course been a politician, you've been a journalist. Let me ask you, what would you call what the Supreme Court described Teesta Setalwad as having done? Keeping the pot of the Gujarat riots boiling by going out there and trying to influence various witnesses, etc. Was that agenda-driven social justice campaigning? Was that activism? Or was that journalism?
See, Rahul, I can say that I have done little bit of journalism, and I had also seen the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Lal Krishna Advani. And I've also seen Narendra Modi, and I had seen him quite closely also. And I had done studio discussions with him in studio too. But I can say one thing, that there is no doubt about it, that Mr. Narendra Modi is one of the most criticized politicians this country has seen. I had also seen Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Lal Krishna Advani were also very much criticized. But if you are a politician, if you are in public sphere, you can't complain that you are being criticized. I have never heard Atal Bihari Vajpayee complaining that he's been criticized. Lal Krishna Advani was also widely criticized when he started his Ram Janmabhoomi Yatra. But Mr. Modi has his own style of creating enemies. If there is no enemy, he'll create from nowhere. And so that's why if he is criticized, he should also try to understand that why he has been criticized so wildly. Why? And unfortunately or fortunately, the politics has changed so much that when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was there was a bonhomie, there was a harmony, there was a good relationship between the opposition leaders and between him. He and Chandrasekhar, he and Vishwanath Pratap Singh could always cut a joke and can always in public sphere can criticize each other, but can stand with each other and can talk to each other. But unfortunately, that situation is not with Mr. Modi. Either you are with him or you are against him. You can't be neutral with him. You can't be neutral with him. If you are neutral with him, then there is something wrong. So I think about journalism, I've said it, and I have said it umpteen times. If there is a Godi media, there is also a manipulated media also. There is also a media which is motivated also. And this is not just to one side of the media, the other side of the media. There is a left of the center media, there is a right of the center media. And both of them are not neutral. Both of them are not doing objective journalism the way it should be. But I don't know if the journalism has changed in last few years, because earlier the right media was not so strong, not so powerful. Suddenly it has become very powerful. So left will also find it very difficult to adjust with them. The right will also find it very difficult to adjust with them. Unfortunately, the objective journalism is a casualty in this.
So
and
you are
anybody
saying,
who wants to be an objective,
okay,
he gets
so you are saying
criticism from both the sides.
So you are saying that he is, whether we like it or not, the most criticized politician, but he must take it on his chin. That's what you're saying, because he's in public life. Okay, quick response from Sanju Verma to that before I open this up to Ishkaran Bhandari, Lokesh Jindal, and of course Rijuda. Yes.
You know, Rahul, Smita Prakash made some very interesting points. And without taking away from what Ashutosh said, let's be very clear. Prime Minister Modi has been called Hitler, Gaddafi, Mussolini, Aurangzeb ki aulad, Dawood Ibrahim, blah, 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 Bandar, Neech Chai Wala, Anpad Gabar, Jahil. I'm just naming a couple of the names he's been called. He has never retaliated. But now, this entire vilification campaign has been institutionalized by an ecosystem that is not willing to still digest that this is a man who came to power in 2014. He was dismissed as a one-time aberration. He came back with a bigger majority in 2019. People still could not digest it and said, oh, acha, ye Modi phenomena 7-8 saal chalega, uske baad ye, it will lose its charm. Now when they realize that Gujarat has set the template for 2024 and for the BJP-led NDA to come back with a greater majority than 303, this cabal has lost its marbles. And that is why attacks will get vicious, is what the Prime Minister said. Abhi zulm aur badhne wale hain. Isliye hमें अपनी सहन शक्ति को और विस्तार करना पड़ेगा.
Modi has never retaliated. He's never retaliated. Congress, let me bring in Lokesh Jindal of the Congress, never retaliated, says Sanju Verma. So he basically is not someone who is chafing at the fact that he's being criticized. He's only warning us that there are people who, in the garb of being neutral, are poisoning our minds by filling them with all sorts of candidates to influence public opinion in a way that could end up harming the democracy of this country. Now, look at Jindal, I'll take you back, before you sort of single out Mr. Modi, I'll take you back, in fact, to right after independence. Ishkaran Bhandari will also remember this, being a lawyer and someone familiar with the law. Mr. Nehru had used exactly the same refrain. He was very upset that his work was being criticized. And he said that this constituted a massive threat, so much so that he brought in the First Amendment, even though his government was not actually at that moment in time popularly elected. He brought in an amendment to actually, in some ways, retaliate, reduce, or criminalize free speech. It was absolute, it was then criminalized. That was retaliation. Modi has never done that. Lokesh Jindal, respond.
Yes, good evening, Rahul. Rahul, answering the first question, Sanju Verma said that Modi has been criticized on his private life, when he visits his home, when he meets his mother, when he goes for a puja. Then let me tell you, Mr. Modi himself carries the entire cameraman, photographers, whenever he is even touching his mother's feet, when he is performing puja, when he is doing yoga. What is the need for this form of a coverage? It is almost like he is inviting these criticisms by himself. If he has to do all these things in his if he wants a privacy, a private life, let him do it the way every individual does. Why to bring it out in the public life? And when you are bringing it in the public life, then you should be ready with the reactions of the public. Secondly, when you talk about civil society, media. Now, media is the fourth pillar of democracy. Civil society, institutions. Now, all of them, they have ranked India, they have cautioned India with its poor performance. Now, when I talk about EIU, Democratic Index, it has not fared India well. India's rank in the Global Hunger Index has rolled down. India's rank in Human Development Index has been 132, which is poor. India's press index slipped down to 150. And when we talk about recently the government entering into controversy with the Supreme Court, then all these are not a healthy functioning of democracy. Now, we expect the Prime Minister to respect the theory of checks and balances, all the institutions that have been constitutionally safeguarded so as to check rise of absolutist power. They must be safeguarded, and we must all remember that power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So rather than calling them thekedars, singling them out and trying to call them names, the Prime Minister must act more responsibly and understand that the role that they perform is very important.
Well, actually, Sanju Verma talked about retaliation. Now, none of what you have said suggests that there has been retaliation. If anything, the Prime Minister has gamely taken it on his chin, according to him, as he says, and he has gone on, never allowed anyone to disrupt him, and he says that he in fact takes it as a wake-up call of sorts. Keeps me alert, he says, to quote him exactly. It has benefited me a lot, it always keeps me alert. Ishkaran Bhandari, how do you respond to what Lokesh Jindal is saying, what Sanju Verma has said, what Smita Prakash has said, what Ashutosh is saying? I'll tell you one thing, viewers. The very fact that we are having this debate, that itself is a marker of neutrality tonight. Smita Prakash, I think, mentioned that there appeared to be a complete blackout at 9 p.m. yesterday about these comments. I agree with her. Even today, no one is looking at these comments. In fact, the newspapers have also glossed them over. Why? Is it because there is a sort of, a come to Jesus moment? Have people realized that perhaps they're guilty and now they don't want to confront their own sort of skeletons? And that's the reason why they've swept it under the carpet. Well, Times Now, viewers, have no skeletons. So it can have these conversations. It can bring out all these conversations that others are censoring. That's why you watch Times Now. Let me go across to Ishkaran Bhandari. Respond, Ishkaran Bhandari.
Rahul, let's first deal with our first Prime Minister. Commonwealth ka das hai Nehru for saying that Majrooh Sultanpuri was sent to jail for 2 years. That was the freedom of speech in India. So let us be very clear when we talk about freedom of speech, forgetting the part on how he brought in reasonable restrictions to restrict everybody's speech, or how Congress, when internet era came in, brought in 66A to again restrict the speech on internet because it was a new medium. But let us deal with the facts here. When it has been said by Ashutosh that Vajpayee ji also faced criticism, please understand. He faced criticism of the right man in the wrong party. What Modi faces is the wrong man in the wrong party. A fundamental difference that he faces. And not only that, you see his speech after 2007 victory. He said till 2007 victory, they were blaming me because they thought Gujarat might reject me. But after I won 2007, now they blame Gujaratis. कि भैया तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब हो गया जो इसको वोट कर रहे हो. So this was the level of hate. From initially blaming him to blaming Gujaratis. Even yesterday, there are tweets by left loonies who are, to quote Tehseen, who are blaming Gujaratis for voting for Prime Minister Modi. Now let us come to a new aspect of it. What is this neutral people? People who their entire life have made their bread and butter from TV. And I will take a name, Ravish Kumar. Now go out and say, TV to Seth ka hai. Who was running it before? It was running on fresh air. There was no Seth running it. Then they say entire media, entire TV is Godi media. So while you are in TV, TV is the best platform. The minute you are not in TV, it is Godi media. So now come to whichever forum I am on. So please let us be very clear. There is no neutrality. Of course, the Prime Minister is also making political statements. I don't think so. It bothers him. He is a very large man. All these statements, all these attacks on him. He is the tallest tree, he has the most fruit-laden tree because he brings the most votes. So of course he gets attacked, but he is a politician. He will use these attacks for highlighting what is being done so that people are aware, which is his right. But the last thing I will say, let us end this debate on hypocrisy and fake news. There is no neutrality It is complete agenda driven by the leftist institutions because the Nehruvian consensus has broken. There was a pre-Modi era before 2014. Whosoever government, it was a Nehruvian consensus. Now we are decisively, and history will record this, 10 years, 20 years down the line of how 2014 was a post-Modi era.
Okay, let me bring in the TMC spokesperson. Thank you very much for waiting your turn patiently, Riju Datta. I wanted to first speak to at least 3 journalists and 1 non-partisan in the form of Ishkan Bhandari to get a sense really of what this conversation was before really bringing in the political stakeholders. So I just want to bring you in and ask you, look, the Prime Minister is obviously aware that a spokesperson of your political party went out there and, as per the PIB, faked some news to create some sort of disaffection. I mean, it was a very serious transgression. I'm not defending here the arrest, the subsequent arrest, the detentions, etc. I don't think he should have been detained or arrested. But forget that for a moment, and let's talk a little bit about the motivations. When you sort of color the Prime Minister's entire outreach to the victims of the Morbi tragedy and use fake news to do so, what exactly are you doing? What are you playing at?
Okay, thank you. Please give me the courtesy of time. Now let's start off with some facts.
Yeah.
Narendra Modi ji is the biggest face for BJP. It is because of him they won Gujarat. It is because of him that people vote in the country for BJP. And so I think he also being my Prime Minister, whether I vote for him or not, whether I like him or not, immaterial, he is my Prime Minister. And I think he should not have this chui-mui attitude, and he should not be sensitive. He should take this. He should take all the hatred he is getting because he is the Prime Minister of the biggest democracy in the world, for Christ's sake. The only women chief minister in the country is every day abused, is every day rebuked by none other than the leader of opposition in Bengal, who is the BJP MLA. Sub judice maybe, but a BJP man. But so she takes it. So you have to take it. That is number 1. Number 2, when Prime Minister says, you know, the neutrals are attacking, the neutrals are doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. Okay, to a certain extent I admit. Now I will ask the Prime Minister, you have won with a thumping majority for the 7th record time in Gujarat. Our National General Secretary forwarded a tweet. Okay, as per Saibal laws, you arrested him. Very good, you arrested him. The Honorable Court of Law given him bail. Then again the next day, without a warrant, you again gone and arrested him. Why? Did that show political grace? No. It showed outreach, witch hunt, lowest level political vendetta, and then again he got bail today in the court of law. So who got a slap in the face? BJP got it for their political vendetta. It was prejudiced by Gujarat police. Now, secondly, if in PM Modi's New India, anybody who talks against BJP, and the country knows this, is blamed anti-national. If you have a voice of dissent, I'll take the names, 2 contradicting names which people will make people shout. But what happened in the case of Umar Khalid? The Supreme Court has said he has no involvement. What happened with him? What happened with Gauri Lankesh? So any free speech, any dissent, you will slap sedition charges, you will put people behind bars. Journalists were made to be stripped in Madhya Pradesh when they spoke against a BJP MLA. We have seen all that also.
But Mr.
So
Riju Datta, you are being selective. Are you being selective
that other
tonight?
Political parties are not doing it.
Dr. Datta, are you being selective tonight? Let me remind you of a person.
No,
do you
I'm
remember?
just saying this.
One second. You're talking about retaliation. I will ask that question of Sanju Verma. I'm not in favor of somebody being arrested for, defamation, etc. Have civil defamation. Scrap criminal defamation. It doesn't need to exist on the rule books either. I'm sure Ishkan Bhandari will agree with me. But 1 minute. Yes, absolutely. Let me come to you 1 second, Riju Datta. You see, I'm worried that we are again being selective. Now, you are not being neutral at all. I know that you're a member of the TMC, but you expect Sanju Verma to be neutral when you've forgotten. Do you remember a person called Ambikesh Mohapatra?
No.
No, you don't.
Absolutely not.
I'll tell you why you don't know him.
3-4 more names
Ambikesh
also. I will tell you this.
1 second, let me finish.
No, I know him. He's a Jadavpur University professor.
What happened to him?
Who forwarded a mail
What happened to him? What happened to him?
He was arrested.
He was arrested. It was a joke.
He was arrested.
It was a joke.
He was arrested
about Mamata Banerjee. Arrested him. That's not retaliation.
I will tell you this.
Okay, 1 second. Do you know someone called Priyanka Sharma?
Rahul, can I tell you something?
Do you know Priyanka Sharma?
I will say. I
Do you know
know.
Priyanka Sharma?
I know. Trust me, I do my homework. And I will say this. I
Do
will
you
say
know-
this on record.
do you know-
If Riju Datta
Do you
today-
know the victims?
If Riju Datta
Do you know
today
the
directly
victims?
attacks...
Do you know the
Can I finish,
victims?
please?
Do you know the victims of the 2021 post-poll riots in Bengal that the NHRC and some of the courts of this
My
land
Lord.
have said were witch hunted for exercising their rights under the law to vote freely and fairly for the party of their choice? Do you know those people, Riju Datta? Or do you not know them because they eventually ended
Now,
up living in
Okay, are you
Assam
done
fearing
now?
for their lives?
Okay, you're finished, Rahul?
Yes, sir.
Then I will tell you this. Me as the national spokesperson of Trinamool Congress,
Right.
if I morph an image of the Honorable Prime Minister, even whether I love him or hate him immaterial, I also should be arrested. If you morph the picture of the only female chief minister in the country, there are laws
So
that
what's
need
your
to be
problem?
punished as per the IT laws.
So you're
you brought
validating
in
the
post-poll
arrest of
violence. No,
your
no,
own-
you brought
your
in
own
post-poll violence. No,
spokesperson.
answer me. Rahul, one second.
Yeah,
One second,
please.
Rahul.
Yes.
No. What I am trying to say is, you brought in post-poll violence victims. I will ask you a straightforward question. Saket Gokhale was arrested for a tweet on Morbi. The Morbi contract, the bridge contract, was given to a watch manufacturer called Oreva
True.
Group.
He should be
Owner
arrested.
Hasmukh Patel has pictures of meeting Modi and having a cup of tea.
He should be
Has he
arrested.
been arrested? Has he been
May I
questioned?
comment?
Please ask Sanju Verma. Has he been questioned?
Rahul,
I have
Has he been
raised this.
questioned? Forget arrest.
One second,
Has he
Mr.
been
Datta.
questioned?
I have raised
So forget
this.
about neutrality.
No, one second.
Don't talk about BJP.
No,
should
one
not
second.
talk about neutrality.
Dr. Datta, we have had 1 week of debates on exactly this point on Times now on this show. So
Yeah.
I
know
have
that,
called
I know
for that
that, I know
person's
that.
arrest. You are probably
I know
aware
that.
of it. You might have even been part of one of those debates, or someone from your party might have been. But let me tell you, viewers,
I've been a part of
two
it.
wrongs don't make a
May I
right.
comment?
Two wrongs don't make a right. And we can't also be selective. Today is the time, viewers, when we must have an honest conversation, because somebody, the Prime Minister, was honest and he came out and said what he felt like. Now, I want to come to you, sir, Sanju Verma, but right there before Smita Prakash has raised her hand, just wanted to bring her in. I'll give you right after that an opportunity to rebut. Smita Prakash, you were making a point. Yes.
Yeah, I just quickly want to say a couple of things. That those who think that Modi doesn't have a cordial relationship with politicians today, please speak to parliament reporters who will tell you a different story, or else go onto Twitter and just do a search and see Modi's pictures with Sitaram Yechuri, with Kharge, with the South Indian politicians who attended just a couple of days back, in fact. So that being said, the other point was about Vajpayee and Advani. You know, when Vajpayee and Advani both faced criticism, but on the other hand, Vajpayee ran a very weak government at that time because he had coalition. So he did not face the kind of criticism that Modi faces, because Modi comes with a strong government. So the second point is, Advani also faced a lot of criticism, but both of them stretched out and cultivated those very journalists who pretend to be neutral, their critics, and gave them access during that time. Fine, I'm not critical about that situation or what they did, but what I'm trying to say is, Modi on the other hand has a different style. He doesn't have to have the style of a Vajpayee or an Advani. He feels, rightly or wrongly, that this entrenched Delhi media, he doesn't need them. Even when he was in Gujarat, when the media then blocked him, he went on to social media, and he's managed to communicate without going through this very entrenched media who have laid down the rules
Well,
that
let me tell
unless
you.
you go via us,
Okay.
you cannot communicate to the people of this country.
On the point
that has
of-
been the rule for so many decades out here. Modi broke that rule.
Okay, on the point. So basically, the lack of access became a point of contention. That's what Smita Prakash is saying, as if it's the God-given right of every journalist to be sitting in the lap of a politician and advising that politician, because that gives
And
them sort of
taking off
reverse
on
ego
the
massage.
plane.
Okay, 1 minute. Let
And
me
take
just
on
say,
the Prime
viewers, on the point that Smita Prakash made about journalism of a particular cabal. Now, I'm not going to name this particular journalist, because then I'll be seen as a person who is actively promoting hate against this person. But the work that this journalist did on the Gujarat riots, the Supreme Court itself believed that it was not above being motivated. The opinion of a person is not the realm of the evidence. There is a likelihood of the same being politically motivated, cannot be ruled out. The way in which the things have moved in Gujarat post-Godhra incident, such allegation, counter-allegation are not uncommon and has been raised a number of times and have been found to be untenable and afterthought, unquote. This is on the works of very controversial work.
Can I?
One second, I just want to bring in Sanju Verma because there is another story I want to pay a little bit of attention to. I'll come back to you, Ashutosh ji. 30 seconds. Sanju Verma, quick response to Riju Datta. He says that you hound, when you said that there has been no repercussions, you have hounded your critics. Look at Saket Gokhale.
Okay, you know, Rahul, I'll just share a very small anecdote which I think is very relevant. I normally don't do this. Just taking a cue from Smita Prakash. You know, earlier this year we had the national executive meet of the BJP at Hyderabad, and during dinner time at one of the sessions, obviously, you know, people like me who are new to politics and who wouldn't want to, have two words with the Prime Minister. I was standing there and he just asked me, "Abhi bhi jhagda karti ho kya?" So I just said, "नहीं sir, बस जब कोई आपके बारे में बोलता है तब फिर सहन नहीं होता है." बोला, क्या जरूरत है आपको, आप अपना खुश रहो. So Prime Minister is not a chewy mui. He is very thick-skinned. Point number one. Point number two. That said, he is a human. He is a politician, but it also gives him the right to call out the bluff of those who have institutionalized peddling of fake narratives, institutionalized corruption, institutionalized this entire anti-Modi mindset under the garb of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And coming to Riju Datta, I hope he will not heckle me. I did not interrupt you. Listen to this. At least the Gujarat government clearly said, and I have been on Times Now debates where it clearly said that whoever is the culprit in the Morbi case, Jaisukh Patel, he is apparently absconding. Let him be brought to book. We are not like Mamata Banerjee, who after the Hamsa Khali gang rape, imagine Rahul, a 14-year-old girl is gang raped. One of the chief perpetrators is the son of a TMC MLA. And what does Mamata Banerjee say in full public domain? She's laughing and saying, who are we to decide whether she was raped, whether she was pregnant because of an affair gone wrong? What can be more shameful than that? And Mamata Banerjee is a repeat offender after the Birbhum massacre in which 12 people were burnt alive. And again your Trinamool Congress Bahubali was involved. What did Mamata Banerjee say? कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. So who are you to sit here and give certificates of integrity to PM Modi? पहले अपने गिरेबान में झांको. Look at your own backyard.
Well, let me also tell you, viewers, look, Sanju Verma might be stridently defending. I do believe that those who ran the company that led to, who ran the company that led to, one second, who ran the company that led to the ghastly incident in Morbi should be booked post-haste. They should be jailed post-haste. We have been demanding this, and I hope now that the elections are over, that will happen. The sooner, the better. The son of a minister in the Lakhimpuri case has been arrested. Sanju Verma will point out and say that, look, we have applied the law, and I hope that that same principle will be applied to those who ran the company that was principally responsible for the Morbi disaster. Riju Datta, very quickly, Ashutosh right after. I don't have much time, so please keep it short. 30 seconds each, please. I request you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just keep it short. I'll just take 20 seconds. I'll give one anecdote like Sanju Verma gave, and then I'll quote. I'll tell Sanju Verma only one thing: don't preach us about rape when you have let go of Bilkis Banu's rapists and called them sanskari Brahmins. So please don't get holier than that. Now I will tell you my story. I did not.
Okay, please, gentlemen, I don't have the time. I don't have the time for this. No, please, I don't have the time. I'm telling you, I don't have the time. I have to go to an important story. Ashutosh ji, 30 seconds over everyone's fader. Ashutosh ji, 30 seconds, please.
See, Rahul, Narendra Modi was one of the darlings of the press. Smita knows this and I also know this because we had worked together. And this all changed after 2002. But 2002 was such a controversial thing like 1984. Yes, Supreme Court has given him clean chit. But look at the track record. The Supreme Court has also called him Nero. The NHRC led by Chief Justice of India, one of the eminent jurists, Justice J.S. Verma. Read the report, Justice P.B. Sawant, Election Commission. So it's not that you criticize somebody so you are abusing him. I am the one who has shared diets with the RSS chief and the number 2. I mean, I was criticized. I'm neither leftist nor rightist, but every day I get abuses. So if you are in a public space, you will be criticized. But what is objectionable is that don't create enemies out of it. Medha, you might not like Medha Patekar, but Medha Patekar has an alternate view about the development. Don't say that she's anti-Gujarati or anti-national. That is where my objection is.
Okay, once quickly, someone is waving their finger. 1 second, I think it's Iskan Bhandari. Yes.
Rahul, Medha Patekar and her likes have a view to stop development of India. That's not an alternate view of development.
Okay, that's not okay. Fine. I need to move on. Viewers. Okay, Riju Datta, I'm giving you 10 seconds. Please don't anecdotes. No anecdotes. Get to the point. What is the point? Riju Datta, yes.
No. I made a tweet. I made a wrong tweet about PM Modi. I deleted that tweet and I apologize. After that, UP police filed 31 FIRs.
Oh, don't talk about all of that. I'll tell you my personal example. You want me to give you some anecdotes? I reported a story. I reported a story that made the front pages of every newspaper, and your police wants to throw me in jail. And only me, not any other journalist, not any other editor that carried the same report. Only Rahul Shivshankar. Why? Because I have the guts, the spine to ask you a couple of straightforward questions. I don't mind it though. Viewers, if you start talking about anecdotes, there is no end to them. There is one opposition politician who nearly chased me out of the country, by the way. For what? For exposing his misdemeanor. What was it? He jumped into a counter at the airport and roughed up the staff. It was all on TV. We reported it. He said this is malicious mischaracterization of me, this, that, the other, and he sent his police force. I had to hide. Can you believe it, viewers? So let's not talk about anecdotes. We have several of them. Yes, Smita Prakash, you'll be stunned the extent to which I had to hide for 2 days. Anyhow, and that is for a story where the person was clearly in the wrong. Viewers, I've run out of time, unfortunately, but I really wanted to focus on the other big story. And it is very quick. But the Supreme Court has closed the door, has completely shut the door now on any attempt to give justice to those who were the victims of a genocide in Kashmir in 1990. Viewers, not only has this door shut, but most importantly, these victims have been betrayed by the system for 30 years. And I'm not just talking about the judiciary sector, I'm talking about the executive, I'm talking about those in the justice system, in the investigative machinery. This is a travesty. I was going to ask some big questions on this. We've run out of time. We will continue this story tomorrow. I leave it at that. All of this happening at a time when more and more Hindus, their names are appearing on the kill list of Islamists. Who denied justice for genocide is a question that will be asked by this channel. I'll take a short break.
Meta laid off 11,000 plus employees, Amazon 10,000, Twitter 3,700 plus, Snapchat 6,000. Guys, list और भी लंबी है और अगर एक हेडलाइन जो हर न्यूज़पेपर, हर न्यूज़ चैनल चला रहा है आजकल, that's about layoffs affecting the big tech industry. Big tech companies are in big trouble. एक टाइम था जब ये इंडस्ट्री फ्यूचर प्रूफ थी एंड जॉब सिक्योरिटी के लिए काफी जानी जाती थी, बट रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी के नाम पे भर के जॉब कट्स हो रहे हैं. सो क्या टेक का ड्रीम रन ओवर हो चुका है? What lies ahead? Let's find out in this video, and I'm Sumita Karir. बिग टेक का बिग रीसेट मोमेंट आ चुका है गाइस. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक्स फर्स्ट. एक्सटेंट ऑफ लेऑफ्स की बात करें तो 2022 में मोर देन 1,37,492 वर्कर्स हैव बीन लेड ऑफ अक्रॉस 850 प्लस टेक कंपनीज. बट हाउ डिड बिग टेक गेट हियर? Well, number one, misplaced pandemic boom. Online businesses में boom हुआ after the COVID-19 pandemic, where everybody was stuck at home. सब घर पे बैठ के ऑर्डर कर रहे थे, नेटफ्लिक्स पे कंटेंट देख रहे थे और सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे थे. तो नेचुरली बिजनेसेस ने वहां स्पेंड करना शुरू कर दिया जहां ग्रोथ दिखी. लाइक मेटा ओवरस्पेंट ऑन मेटावर्स, AR VR टेक्नोलॉजीज टू द ट्यून ऑफ, कुछ रिपोर्ट्स बोल रही हैं, अराउंड $36 बिलियन. एंड बाय द वे मेटावर्स कोई 1-1.5 साल में तो सेटअप नहीं होने वाला है. सो ओवर ऑप्टिमिज्म दैट दिस डिजिटल बूम विल फॉरएवर स्टे. इसकी वजह से इन्वेस्टर्स भी पैसा डालते गए, हायरिंग्स और स्पेंड्स बढ़ते गए. और जैसे ही कोविड रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लिफ्ट हुए तब आया स्टोरी में ट्विस्ट. नाउ ये डिमांड जो है डिजिटल इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए, डिजिटल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज के लिए, ये सस्टेन नहीं रही. बिकॉज ऑफिस जाना है तो कितना फेसबुक यूज करोगे, कितना नेटफ्लिक्स देखोगे. एंगेजमेंट इन सारे प्लेटफॉर्म से गिर गई एंड ग्रोथ सस्टेन नहीं हुई. जूम फॉर इंस्टेंस, द वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग कंपनी, उसके शेयर्स अभी 90% डाउन है. नंबर 2, दूसरा रीजन है ग्लोबल इन्फ्लेशन एंड मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक ट्रेंड्स. नाउ जब ग्रोथ गिर रही तो उसके बाद आया इन्वेस्टर्स का प्रेशर टू फिक्स वैल्यूएशंस. ऊपर से रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर ने इन्फ्लेशन, इंटरेस्ट रेट सबको बढ़ा दिया, व्हिच इज पुट प्रेशर ऑन द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी. डिपिंग रेवेन्यू. इसके बाद क्या हुआ, एडवर्टाइजर्स ने भी लेस स्पेंडिंग करना शुरू कर दिया और ओवरऑल रेवेन्यूज जो थे इन डिजिटल कंपनीज के वो गिरने शुरू हो गए. फेसबुक का रेवेन्यू वाज डाउन 52% इन Q3 ऑफ दिस ईयर. गूगल टू रिपोर्टेड द स्लोएस्ट ग्रोथ इन 10 years. सो नाउ दीज कंपनीज आर टाइटनिंग देयर बेल्ट एंड इन द
Tonight, viewers.
Delhi Women Commission Chief Swati Maliwal faces charges of corruption on allegations of abuse of position for irregular appointments. The opposition asks Kejriwal government to sack her. After BJP swept the Gujarat elections, Bhupendra Patel submitted his resignation as the Chief Minister to the Governor. The new government will be formed in Gujarat on the 12th of December. According to sources, the Maharashtra government is soon set to introduce a law against forced conversion in the state. YSRTP chief YS Sharmila, who was sitting on a hunger strike at the Ambedkar statue in Tank Bund in Warangal, was again detained by the Telangana police. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao unfurled the party flag of Bharat Rashtra Samiti at the party headquarters in Hyderabad after the Election Commission officially approved the name change from TRS to BRS. While addressing the people in Kanpur, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath endorsed strict police action against criminals, and he added that preventive measures like installing CCTVs have been taken.
हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टाइम शायद अमानकुर तनेजा और मैं मौजूद हूं टोयोटा की नई इनोवा हाई क्रॉस के अनवेलमेंट पर. तो टोयोटा की फाइनली ये हाई क्रॉस देखने को मिल रही है जो कि हाइब्रिड अवतार में टोयोटा लेकर आई है. इनोवा का ही हाइब्रिड अवतार कह सकते हैं. बहुत से बदलाव लेकिन क्रिस्टा के मुकाबले इस नई इनोवा हाई क्रॉस में देखने को मिलते हैं. तो क्या है वो चेंजेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजाइन, इन टर्म्स ऑफ फीचर्स एंड ऑल्सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंजन ऑप्शंस, उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस वीडियो में. सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिज़ाइन बात करें तो सबसे पहले यहाँ पे एक नया बड़ा ग्रिल जो क्रिस्टा के मुकाबले यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहा है इस हाई क्रॉस में. तो ये एक नया फेस यहाँ पर इसमें दिया गया है एंड क्रोम का सराउंडिंग्स थ्रू आउट यहाँ देखने को मिल रहा है इस साइड में. एंड जो हेडलैम्प्स हैं वो LED हैं और पहले से थोड़े स्लीक भी यहाँ देखने को मिल रहे हैं. एंड ड्यूल फंक्शन इसमें DRL और इंडिकेटर यहाँ सेम लाइट में LED लाइट में देखने को मिलेगा. एंड नीचे देखेंगे तो ब्लैक और वाइट का कॉम्बिनेशन देखने को मिल रहा है. सेंसर्स थ्रू आउट हैं. 360 डिग्री कैमरा इसमें दिया गया है. फ्रंट में आप इसको देख सकते हैं. साइड प्रोफाइल की बात करें तो व्हील्स हैं इसमें जो 18 इंच के दिए गए हैं एंड क्लैडिंग थ्रू आउट यहाँ पे इसमें देखने को मिल रही है. इसके अलावा जो डायमेंशंस हैं वो भी क्रिस्टा के मुकाबले बदली हुई इसकी देखने को मिलती हैं. ये चौड़ाई में ज़्यादा है, लंबाई में क्रिस्टा ज़्यादा है, व्हील बेस इसका इनोवा क्रिस्टा से ज़्यादा देखने को मिलता है. तो ऑब्वियसली अंदर स्पेस भी क्रिस्टा ज़्यादा इस नई इनोवा हाई क्रॉस में देखने को मिलने वाला है. एंड टर्न इंडिकेटर्स यहाँ इसके साइड में इसमें इंटीग्रेटेड है. हाइब्रिड की बड़ी सी बैजिंग यहाँ दी गई है. 360 डिग्री कैमरा है तो यहाँ पर भी इसके मिरर के नीचे और भी हमसे कैमरा देखने को मिल रहा है. जो डोर हैंडल्स हैं वो बॉडी कलर और क्रोम के कॉम्बिनेशन के साथ देखने को मिल रहे हैं. एंड
रूफ रेल यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को नहीं मिल रही, हालांकि इसमें पैनोरामिक सनरूफ दी गई है, अंदर से मैं दिखाऊंगा। एंड यहाँ पे पीछे जाते हुए इसकी 2 क्रीजेस दिखेंगी जो इसकी टेल लाइट से जुड़ती हैं, एंड रैप अराउंड एलईडी टेल लाइट्स यहाँ पर इस इनोवा की नई हाई क्रॉस में देखने को मिल रही हैं। ZX वेरिएंट खड़ा है हाइब्रिड वाला, जो कि इसका टॉप वेरिएंट है। एक ऑप्शनल का भी इसमें वेरिएंट टोयोटा ऑफर कर रही है इस इनोवा हाई क्रॉस में। सेंसर्स थ्रू आउट यहाँ देखने को मिल रहे हैं, एंड ब्लैक एलिमेंट का इस्तेमाल इसके बम्पर में यहाँ भी करा गया है, एंड पियानो ब्लैक एलिमेंट इसके इस स्पॉइलर में इधर देखने को मिल रहा है, जो कि बॉडी कलर और ब्लैक कॉम्बिनेशन में यहाँ पे इसमें दिया गया है। एक नया एडिशनल फीचर जो इसमें अब मिल रहा है। सो नाउ दिस न्यू इनोवा हाई क्रॉस कम्स विद एन इलेक्ट्रिक टेल गेट, जो कि सेगमेंट फर्स्ट फीचर यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को मिलता है। एंड कुछ इस तरह से तीनों रो अगर आप हैं तो कुछ इतना स्पेस, एग्जैक्ट नंबर टोयोटा ने अभी बताया नहीं है, बट डिसेंट स्पेस है, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं कहूँगा, बट यहाँ पे कुछ इस तरह स्पेस देखने को मिलता है। थोड़ा बहुत सामान यहाँ पे भी रख सकते हैं। ये कुछ मामला है इसकी बूट स्पेस और इस इलेक्ट्रिक टेल गेट का। सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ डायमेंशंस यस बदली है पहले से, क्रिस्टा के मुकाबले डायमेंशंस में ये ज़्यादा वाइडर है, ज़्यादा लॉन्गर है, व्हील बेस ज़्यादा है, हाइट ऑलमोस्ट दोनों की सेम है, बट कुछ ये इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिज़ाइन यहाँ पर बदलाव देखने को मिलते हैं। नाउ लेट्स गो इनसाइड एंड फीचर्स का मामला कैसा है, लेट्स गो एंड चेक दैट आउट। नाउ लेट्स सिट इनसाइड और अंदर फीचर्स का मामला क्या है यहाँ पे देखते हैं। पावर्ड सीट्स यहाँ देखने को मिल रही हैं, एंड आई थिंक यहाँ पे भी इसमें नहीं, इसमें मैनुअल दिया गया है लेफ्ट साइड में। एंड गियर बॉक्स यहाँ पे अब इसका डैशबोर्ड वाले कंसोल में देखने को मिल रहा है, जो पहले यहाँ पे यानी पहले क्या अभी भी क्रिस्टा में जो देखने को मिलता है सेंटर में।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Modi juggernaut has trampled upon the dreams of many in the state of Gujarat. The BJP not only conquered the bastions of the Congress party and made it bite the dust, but also crushed too many prophecies that were made by the Aam Aadmi party that it would form the government in Gujarat. Even the Aam Aadmi party's top engines in the state failed to give the turbo boost the Aam Aadmi party really needed. Let's take a look at what had been promised by Kejriwal emphatically when he gave it in writing on November 28 that the main 3 warriors of the Aam Aadmi party will win, but that really was not an expectation that was met. Ishudan Garvi, who was the Aam Aadmi party's chief ministerial candidate, lost by over 18,000 votes in Khambadia. Gopal Italia, the state chief, lost by over 64,000 votes in Katargam, and Alpesh Kathiria lost by another 16,000 votes from Varacha seat road. Now, if the top guns of the Aam Aadmi party couldn't quite make it, the Aam Aadmi party's claim that it had become the national alternative to the BJP also has to be checked out in the numbers, and that's where the story lies. The BJP has come out with an Aam Aadmi Party 2022 election debacle list. In Gujarat, the Aam Aadmi Party contested 181 seats but managed to win only 5, of which with a winning margin of these seats were low. In 126, it had to forfeit its deposit, and in 14 seats, it scored votes less than Nota. Next up, UP, the last election, it scored a golden duck and it lost 100% of the seats and deposits in each and one of those seats. So 100% deposits forfeited in Uttar Pradesh, and it scored a meager less than 0.5% vote share in Uttar Pradesh. Again, in Uttarakhand, it lost all the 70 seats it contested and lost deposits in 68 of those seats. That's close to 97-98%. Himachal also did not spare the Aam Aadmi Party. It lost all the 67 seats it had contested. That's a 100% record. And in Goa, it managed to win 2 seats but lost deposits in 35 seats again. a 95% record or 97% record. The Aam Aadmi Party may have got the national status, but that itself has been challenged by the BJP. The NCP was declared the national party status in less than a year. The BJP got a national tag in 4 years. So total of 5 parties formed after independence achieved the status in far lesser time than the Aam Aadmi Party, and the AAP, which was founded in 2012, has taken 10 years to get there. And if you take a look at all of those parties, the story is all there in front of your eyes. Listen in to what the BJP had to say.
गोपाल भाई भारी मार्जिन से जीत रहे हैं मेरे सर्वे के मुताबिक, भारी मार्जिन से। वो भी लिख के दे देते हैं, वो लिख के दे देते हैं। 3 लिखे हैं मैंने। हमारे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष गोपाल इटालिया भारी मार्जिन से जीत रहे हैं। हमारे सीएम उम्मीदवार ईशुदान जी भारी मार्जिन से जीत रहे हैं। अल्पेश जी वराछा से भारी मार्जिन से जीत रहे हैं। तीनों जीत रहे हैं।
सूत्रों के मुताबिक आईबी की एक रिपोर्ट आई है। उस रिपोर्ट में गुजरात में आम आदमी पार्टी, आज अगर गुजरात में चुनाव हो तो गुजरात में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बन रही है।
90-92 सीट आ रही है, जीतेंगे लेकिन 90-92 सीट आ रही है। देखो 90-92 से काम नहीं चलेगा, ये बड़े खराब हैं, ये तोड़ देंगे सरकार को, गिरा देंगे सरकार को। हमें 150 सीट चाहिए, 150 से कम सीट नहीं आनी चाहिए। जब से इन्होंने मनीष सिसोदिया क्या रेड मारी है, गुजरात में हमारा 4% वोट शेयर बढ़ गया, और जिस दिन ये इनको गिरफ्तार करेंगे मुझे लगता है 6% वोट और बढ़ जाएगा। फिर अगर 2 बार गिरफ्तार हो गए तो सरकार ही बन जाएगी गुजरात में।
So while nobody can deny the feel-good factor to the Aam Aadmi Party itself, the legitimate question that we are asking tonight is the AAP challenger, national challenger position, a reality or hype? That's the question and that's the debate. Hashtag AAP Gujarat debacle. The debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight on the show, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Anand Ranganathan, author and scientist, Mr. Ravi Srivastav, political analyst, supports the Aam Aadmi Party, Huda Zariwala, political analyst, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. And my first question goes to Mr. Ravi Srivastav. Mr. Ravi Srivastav, a feel-good factor is damn good. Everybody should feel good, and the fact that a national status has been got by the Aam Aadmi Party is a very laudable effort by a party which just came in 2012 after the India Against Corruption campaign. But there are a few reality checks which you will have to take into account. The reality check number 1 is that many other parties have made it to the national level status in less than 10 years, a claim that the Aam Aadmi Party said that we've done it in the shortest possible time. Not quite true. And number 2, that the states that you have gone to, and that's the contention of the BJP, whether it's UP, whether it's Uttarakhand, whether it is Himachal Pradesh or Goa, you've really forfeited deposits in many more seats than you have actually won seats. So to think that you are a national challenger in the forthcoming 2024 Lok Sabha elections, is that a tall claim, as the tall claims have been proved in the Gujarat elections?
Good evening, Navika. Thank you very much for taking me. First of all, Rome was not built in a day. Everything takes time to mature, everything takes time to make a foothold. If you talk about the BJP, in 1985, BJP lost 150 candidates lost their deposit in Gujarat. So it's a humble beginning. We are there. We have entered into the state. 40 lakhs of the voters have blessed Aam Aadmi Party with their votes, and more pride in I take that 4th time in Delhi the Delhiites have imposed their confidence in Arvind Kejriwal's Delhi model of governance, and it has been, I would say that it has been fully endorsed. So it's not fair to call that, you know, we lost deposits in other states and other places. There are still 18 months to go for 2024, and definitely Aam Aadmi Party will be working very hard to make their presence felt in other states. I hope you also remember in 2014, the first time when the party contested across the country, some 430 seats in the parliament, and we got 4 seats. I think it was unprecedented. No political party who contested first time got so many parliament seats for record. And as far as the position is concerned as a national party, yes, some parties may have become faster, but today Aam Aadmi Party, after Congress and BJP, is the third party which has got presence in 4 states with 161 MLAs, with the biggest municipality in its fold, with 13 Rajya Sabha seats. So I think it's a good beginning, and hopefully party will emerge much stronger after this Gujarat, what you term as a debacle. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, बात में दम है?
देखिए नाविका जी, सबसे पहले तो ऐसा कोई सगा नहीं जिसे अरविंद केजरीवाल ने ठगा नहीं. And every citizen of the country is so grateful to you for the reason that you are exposing Arvind Kejriwal for the hypocrisy and the double standards that he has. I'll give you the reasons. As we speak right now, there is a tweet of Mr. Raghav Chadha, who is a member of parliament, and he is again lying just like his guru Arvind Kejriwal. Also retweeted by Manish Sisodiya with a comment. And what does the tweet say? Look at the falsehood. It says, the debut of Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. And then it goes on to say that third spot has been achieved, comparing it to the Bharatiya Janata Party. But if I remember correctly, I dug it out from the Election Commission of India data. And in 2017 also, this Ayashi Apradhi Arajak Party was in fray in Gujarat. How did it fare? Total votes that they got all over the state was 24,918. Vote percentage was 0.1%. Seats were 0. Now Manish Sisodiya and Raghav Chadha, both of whom are public servants, should tell the people that how is it a debut? If I check the Oxford Dictionary, debut means the first performance. In 2017 you had contested. The second point, Arvind Kejriwal claims are very tall, but deceit always falls. And that is why there should be a reality check of deceit versus reality. You have already given a lot of data, but I would quote Arvind Kejriwal now to do a fact check on Arvind Kejriwal. He writes on a piece of paper and he says the AAP party, which is the PAP party, is getting more than 92 seats. In reality, they only get 5. And they forfeit deposit in most of the places where they contest. In Himachal, he said he is a force to reckon with. All 67 seats, they forfeit deposit, and number of seats that he wins is 0.
Navika, can I respond, please?
He talks about Isudan Gadvi. You've already mentioned, he lost. Gopal Italia lost. Alpesh Kataria lost. And most important, this Arvind Kejriwal was saying CBI and ED is a political tool. But Manish Sisodiya never got arrested. And what was that, Navika, when he said jail ka tala tootega, Manish Sisodiya chutega?
Got arrested, Mr. Bhatia. Even you could not write his name in the charge sheet. What arrested? You got so scared that you could not write his name in the charge sheet even.
All right, all right.
Talking about Bharatiya Janata Party.
1 minute.
Mr. Amit Shah.
Ravi Srivastava ji. 1 minute. Gentlemen, let me just get some order. the issue here is not rhetoric. The issue here is we are deep diving into the numbers and looking at the reality. Well, every party can claim to be a challenger and they are fully within their rights to do so. All we are doing as a journalist, it's my job to look at the statistics and look at the politics and the political forecast on how, that's how we do our journalism. We are already beginning to find out what happens in 2024 because that is the question in everybody's mind, every Indian's mind ke 2024 mein iska kya impact hoga, which is why we are studying these numbers. Rhetoric time is over, it's time to look at the reality, and that is the only reality I am looking at. And therefore, my question, I know Anand, you want to come in, but I want to just ask a very short question to Huda Zariwala. Huda Zariwala, the question arises out of what Mr. Gaurav Bhatia said. The numbers are there for you to see. I've shown you the record of the Aam Aadmi Party. It has managed to get some votes, 13% votes in Gujarat. Those numbers are there on the screen. I'm not making up any of these numbers. They are on the Election Commission website. But the numbers of the forfeited deposits are also there. That's also one part of the elections analysis and study. My question is that when it was stated that 92 seats would be won, was that just rhetoric in an election, or did you actually think that was happening on the ground? And the Prime Minister yesterday referred to shortcut politics. Were you trying to do shortcut politics कि बस आप आए हैं और बस सब कोई हट जाएगा और आप हीरो बन जाएंगे? That is the question people want to ask, and that is the reality check we are doing with the numbers. 92 seats coming down to 5 seats. Last election in 2017, the Bharatiya Tribal Party had 3 seats. It's not a national party. I want to ask you, what is the comparison of the Aam Aadmi Party as a challenger to the BJP?
Good evening, Navika ji. Thank you so much for having me on your show. The fact that this very question arises of the Aam Aadmi Party being, an Aap Gujarat debacle, the fact that we are having this debate, the very fact that articles have been written since yesterday and will continue to be written for the next coming time, goes on to show that Aam Aadmi Party is, in fact, indeed a force to reckon with. We cannot deny the fact that Aam Aadmi Party is indeed making inroads in multiple states. It is already in power in a UT and a full state. And of course, we cannot deny the fact that, multiple local body elections have been, sort of taken over by Aam Aadmi Party. So Surat was before even Gujarat. Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, multiple local bodies. Even Uttar Pradesh. I mean, we've not. You have taken over Uttar Pradesh. No. I didn't say taken over. I said, the fact that we have managed to show our presence. The fact that a party. Yes, you have managed. Fine. I'm not contesting the fact that you have managed to show your presence, but managing to show your presence versus challenging the BJP.
Let me give it to you.
Navika ji, the fact that one decade में एक पार्टी ने इतनी खलबली मचा दी है, हलचल मचा दी है, isn't that a fact that आम आदमी पार्टी को celebrate? हमने खलबली मचा दी है, ये कोई एक्नॉलेज नहीं कर रहा है। खलबली मच गई है, खलबली कहाँ मची है? Gaurav Bhatia, I'm coming to you, but Anand Ranganathan cannot control himself anymore. This is the longest he stayed quiet. So I have to go across to him. बेचारे को कुछ हो ना जाए. Anand Ranganathan. 41 lakh people have shown their trust in Gujarat. That accounts for something magnanimous. Let's acknowledge that.
Courtesy IB.
1 minute.
IB is imperial blue.
Miss Huda, I didn't intervene. Navika, can I?
Yes, Anand. Please fact check all the claims. After the elections. Claims before the elections, forget about them. Claims after the elections. None of what I said is untrue. Okay. It's all true. Anand Ranganathan.
No, first of all, Miss Huda, absolutely true. हलबली मचा दी है. अब इसको फैक्ट चेक कैसे करूंगा? जब हम छोटे थे तो हम भी शादियों में
इस टॉपिक पे
Navika,
Huda Zariwala, please do not interrupt in every line. Please.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. I didn't interrupt you. No, Navika, look, it is not that AAP has lost. It's a political party. Political parties fight elections. Some win, some lose. It's not that. It is why it lost. We have to analyze that. And I have analyzed that. And how much it lost. I mean, रवि जी की मैं बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ. वो कह रहे हैं हाँ भाई चलो हारे हैं. रवि जी ये नहीं है कि हारे हैं. ये देखिए आप प्रिडिक्ट क्या कर रहे थे और इंटेलिजेंस ब्यूरो को बीच में ले आए घसीट के कि भाई 92 सीट्स कह रहे आईबी आएंगी. आई 5. It is not your defeat. It is the manner of your defeat which is shocking, and that itself should be kind of humbling. If that doesn't make you humble, then I'm afraid you haven't learned the biggest lesson. कि 140 सीटों पे आपका डिपॉजिट फॉरफिट हो गया, ये तो सबसे बड़ी इंसल्ट है. नोटा 40 सीटों में नाविका कह रही है नोटा के ज्यादा तो ये नहीं कि आप हारे हैं, ये देखिए कितनी बुरी तरह हारे हैं. और अब नाविका a minute, because this is important, this is data. Now yesterday on your show, Navika, I respect him, one good doctor of AAP, he's an AAP spokesperson or I think AAP supporter. He challenged me. You were there. He challenged me, he said, name one parameter, one ranking on which Gujarat is number one. वो Delhi model, Gujarat model की बात हो रही, तूने कहा गुजरात मॉडल यूजलेस है, एक चीज बता दो. So please give me a minute, because उस समय उस टाइम पे मेरे पास एक ही डेटा पॉइंट आया था, लेकिन अब ये मैं आपको उनको बताना चाहता हूं और दिस इज रिफ्लेक्टिव. इससे आपको समझ में आएगा कि आप क्यों हारे हैं, क्योंकि आप गलत चीज पे हथौड़ा मार रहे थे. Gujarat is ranked 1 as India's startup hub with more than 14,200 registered startups in Gujarat. 7% of all startups in the country. Gujarat is ranked 1 as the best governed state in the composite 58 indicator good governance index. Gujarat is ranked 1 as India's export hub through which 30% of our total exports are facilitated. Gujarat is ranked 1 in export preparedness index 2021. Gujarat is ranked 1 in the ease of doing business. Over 3.5 million MSMEs are running in Gujarat. Gujarat is ranked 1 in energy and climate index. Gujarat is ranked 1 in green energy rooftop solar power generation, having 84% of all installations in India, with the state now having 1.7 million megawatt renewable energy project. Gujarat is ranked 1 in food safety index. Gujarat is ranked 1 in bagging most business projects, 14.7% of total projects. Maharashtra is next with 12%. ये है मोदी डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स गुजरात का. आप कह रहे हो बिना डेटा के गुजरात डेवलपमेंट हुआ ही नहीं. डेली डेवलपमेंट हुआ, डेली मॉडल अपनाओ. Navika, I can't continue. You have to have the fader in. Much as I respect Ravi, you can't have, don't.
Ravi Srivastava, I'll give you a chance to rebut. Do not interrupt. I'll give you a chance to rebut. I will give you a chance to rebut. Kindly allow him to complete his point. Otherwise, I'll have to put the fader down. Yes, Anand Ranganathan, complete your point.
I am giving 11 facts. I am not abusing anyone. Far from that, I respect Ravi ji and Huda ji. पर मेरी बात को इंटरप्ट कर रहे हैं क्योंकि ये इनको चुभ रहा है. ये चुभ क्यों रहा है? क्योंकि ये पॉइंट्स को अटैक कैसे करना था, ये स्ट्रैटेजी होनी चाहिए थी. ये स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं कि हम डेली मॉडल को लाएंगे. अब मैं ये नहीं बताऊंगा डेली मॉडल क्या है, क्योंकि वो पिछले 2 दिन से वायरल हो रहा है. लेकिन डेली मॉडल को लाएंगे, गुजरात मॉडल यूजलेस है, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है. सो यू लॉस्ट because A, you had no idea by how much you're going to lose, and number 2, you had no idea why you would lose because you were attacking the wrong model.
Can I now please?
Okay. Any fact that you want to contest? Are you contesting the facts that Anand Ranganathan has put out?
I want to.
Ravi ji, मैं आनंद श्रीवास्तव कर दूंगा. मैं आनंद श्रीवास्तव बन जाऊंगा. I will become. Rebut one point. मैं कल से प्रॉमिस कर रहा हूँ आपके घर में आके रहूंगा.
Please allow me now.
He doesn't want you in his house, bhai. He doesn't want you in his house.
मैं आपके घर में रहना शुरू हो जाऊंगा और आनंद श्रीवास्तव कहलाना शुरू कर दूंगा.
Please allow me now.
नहीं, but only on one
condition. Please allow me now.
Okay.
Only on the condition.
Please allow me now.
Okay, Ravi Srivastava, are you contesting him on facts? Are you contesting him on facts?
Yes.
Okay, which fact?
First of all, Anand Ranganathan ji, the elections in Gujarat are over. Elections in Gujarat are over. Your number one has become the number one. But what I want to tell you, listen, एक मेरा शेर सुन लीजिए, एक मेरा शेर सुन लीजिए, गिरते हैं शहसवार ही मैदान जंग में,
हमारे पंजाब
वो
में
तिफल क्या गिरेगा जो घुटनों के बल चले। तो सर हम तो
मैंने 11 फैक्ट्स दिए,
लड़ने वाले लोग हैं।
चलिए शेरो शायरी से बात नहीं बनेगी रवि श्रीवास्तव जी, आनंद रंगनाथन तो आनंद श्रीवास्तव नहीं बने, आप जरूर रवि रंगनाथन बन गए हैं, बट लेट मी गेट इन तहसीन पूनावाला।
नाविका मैं कल आनंद जरीवाला भी बन जाऊंगा अगर ये भी एक फैक्ट को रिबट कर दें, एक फैक्ट को रिबट करिए।
I have some facts of my own.
No. Are you rebutting his facts? Are you rebutting his facts?
I have facts which he will not be able to rebut.
No.
Would you allow me?
Separate facts. Wait for your turn. तहसीन पूनावाला, I want to ask you. भाई जो जगह आप वेकेट करते हैं, there can't be a vacuum in politics, so somebody else is filling up, and therefore, Congress party is not even in a position to say that they will be challengers to the BJP. Other regional parties are now becoming the challengers, whether it is the TRS or BRS or Aam Aadmi Party. So what is the reality check? What is the reality check of the opposition? There is a motley group of opposition parties. Who's the real challenger?
No, I mean, if you look at strictly data-wise, even today, and Congress is at its worst. I won't make up facts like how Raviji or Huddaji was making up. The Congress is at its lowest right now, no two ways about it. But even at its lowest, the distance between the Congress and the other national parties is way too much for anyone to catch up. I'm talking Lok Sabha wise. So the Congress even then will contest 160 seats in a direct contest with the BJP. Yes, the Congress has to improve, no two ways about it. But where this Aapka Paap comes in and makes up stuff on national television, and I don't know where they make it up from, is, for example, they said on your show just now, after we exposed them on your Hindi show, that they were not the fastest to become the national party in the country. It was actually the BJP followed by the CPI, followed by the CPI.
Actually, NCP was the fastest.
No, BJP was the fastest, then NCP.
NCP in less than 1 year and BJP in 4 years.
So NCP, BJP, CPI, CPIM, all of them, it actually became one of the slowest, but they want to come and say they became the fastest. Even in the Lok Sabha debut, it was NTR and his TDP that got 31 seats. You know the famous election where they defeated the Congress, 31 seats. And on their Lok Sabha debut, they got 31 seats. The AAP ended up getting 4. So even on that, you're actually making up stuff. So this is the problem with the Aam Aadmi Party. It makes up stuff, just like it makes up toilet rooms into classrooms. And they call it the Delhi model. Now, I won't go into who the Delhi model is, because the Delhi model was actually high-fiving Anand Ranganathan on the Delhi model. So I am only glad that the IB that they refer to is actually Intelligence Bureau and not IB's Imperial Blue, which is the Mekana model that they put in, not the Pachala model, because I have a strong feeling, and I think I'm going to be hauled up for that. The IB officer that actually conned them saying he's the IB officer is Sukesh Chandrasekhar from Tihar, where they were doing Man Ki Baat with them. So Sukesh Chandrasekhar, so I think you should fact check on this, and please don't believe IB officers who come and tell you stories.
But on a serious note, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, okay, let's take at face value what the Aam Aadmi Party says. They say, and they haven't said that they are ahead of the Congress, they say that they are the third largest party after the Congress, which has presence outside in more states than one. So Gaurav Bhatia, let's go to that fact. Yes, they do have presence. I mean, they have Delhi under their belt, they have Punjab, and they have a couple of seats in Goa, now 5 seats in Gujarat. Does that make them the third largest party and second only to the Congress party?
Navika, very rightly said by one of the panelists, it's not if you lose an election, you lose everything. But if you lose your credibility, you lose everything in politics. And now let me illustrate, first by examples, the 7 lies of Arvind Kejriwal. Lie number 1, I will never join politics. He did join politics. Lie number 2, he said, I will never take support from the Congress party. मैं बच्चों की कसम खाता हूँ. जिसने अपने बच्चों की कसम झूठी खाई और छोड़ा नहीं, वो दूसरों के बच्चों को क्या छोड़ेगा? Lies number 3, won't continue in politics if Anna Hazare leaves me. He continued. प्लीज दिस इज नॉट डन. नाविका, ये मैं जरीवाला जी से कहूंगा, शांत रहिए, सुनने की हिम्मत रखिए प्लीज.
Yes, बहुत सब्र से बैठिए.
All right.
So live
Ms.
number
Zariwala, after he finishes his point,
I
you
will
can
not continue in.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So let me start from lies number 3. I won't continue in politics if I don't have my guru's blessing. Guru को भी ठग लिया. 4. Won't take a government bungalow. सरकारी बंगलो नहीं होना चाहिए, जनता की सेवा करनी है मुझे, तो ले लिया सरकारी बंगलो. Won't take security. खूब सिक्योरिटी अगल बगल है, वो भी झूठ बोला. मैं यमुना को 5 साल में क्लीन कर दूंगा. ये देखिए नाविका जी, झूठ नंबर 6. ये गुजरात में रिवर देखिए, रिवर फ्रंट, और नीचे देखिए झाग वाली यमुना साफ नहीं हुई. 7वां झूठ इन्होंने बोला कि मैं 15 लाख सीसीटीवी कैमरा लगाऊंगा, लगे नहीं. स्कूल बोला खोलूंगा, 500 खोले नहीं. यूनिवर्सिटी खोलूंगा, 20 हुई नहीं. ये तो 9 झूठ हो गए. अब मैं डेटा देता हूं. अभी आम आदमी पार्टी स्पोक्सपर्सन वो सेइंग इन उत्तर प्रदेश वी हैव डन वेरी वेल. So I have the Election Commission of India data in my hand. You know their performance? They contested on 349 seats in Uttar Pradesh in 2022. They forfeited their deposit in all 349 seats. 100% success rate. So this is their expansion. My point is simple. You know, we are at fault when we believe a person like Arvind Kejriwal about what he says. You know, we cannot blame him. We have to blame ourselves. He is a deceitful liar, pathological liar who has to lie. And it is our fault that we give him that chance to lie. Rather, he should be held accountable just the way you are holding him accountable in today's program.
Well, Huda Zariwala, the question again, I come back to the political question, which is on top of the mind question in the minds of people of India, and they're saying, okay, we've seen one more round of elections, what happens now? We saw Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, now we've seen these 2 states. Now who is going to be the opposition party? To my mind, most people on the streets, in their offices, at home are discussing there's no contest for the top job. The contest is only for who's going to be the opposition party and who's going to be the opposition leader. So, Huda Zariwala, when claims are made that you're big, you're challenger, this, that, are you talking about a challenger at the national level for the opposition leader or for the prime ministerial position?
Navika ji, allow me just 1 minute of completion. Since facts were being pointed out, there are few facts of my own and I'll make it very quick. In the rule of the BJP, India is ranked 85 among the 180 countries in the Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index, which is a universal index called the CPI. Right? In Global 100 Index, India is 107. And as per the World Press Freedom Index, India's rank from 147 has dropped to 150. The massive amount of bank loans that have been defaulted by the likes of Ambani and Adani are 1.88 lakhs for Ambani and 12,800 crores. 12,800 crores for Ambani
nor Mr. Adani, and I'm not a supporter
Mr. Adani,
of them. They haven't
1.88
defaulted
crores.
anything. Are you?
These are just few of the
Ma'am, as I said, facts more important than rhetoric. Today, when we do election analysis, I'm not giving any platform for any hyperbole. I'm only looking at cold numbers and Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Any of the facts stated by Huda Zariwala, if you want to contest, the time is now.
Will Dr. Anand be able to rebut?
Now, yes, he is rebutting.
No, please,
everybody will rebut it. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is rebutting you, Huda Zariwala. Hold on. Dr. Anand Ranganathan coming in.
हुडा जी, आप मेरी बड़ी बहन की तरह हैं, लगती भी बड़ी हैं. प्लीज थोड़ा सा वो रखिए, प्लीज संयम रखिए. थैंक यू.
That's rude, Anand Ranganathan.
Sorry, okay, I meant younger sister. No, but Navika, let us please analyze in a very serious fashion, because you've raised a very serious issue here. What was the plank on which the AAP or any other opposition party could have attacked BJP in Gujarat, its flagship star-studded state that it never wants to lose. Tehseen is absolutely right. You cannot defeat BJP in Gujarat with the left loony crazy platform. अब इन्होंने जैसे for example Transparency International का now I can't talk like this. Now please,
I'm lowering everybody's fader. Anand, complete your point. Everybody's faders are lowered.
Yeah, just for starters, Miss Zariwala mentioned Transparency International. 2 days ago, I gave you Transparency International Index. Gujarat is the least corrupt state according to Transparency International. उसी को लेके हथौड़ा बना के गुजरात को अटैक कर रहे हैं. नंबर 2, अब मैं थोड़ा सा मुद्दे पे आना चाहूंगा. तो नाविका, जब मैंने बताया ये कल आप कह रहे आप वाले स्पोर्ट्समैन कि गुजरात नंबर 1 किसी में नहीं है. मैंने 11 चीजें बनाई जहां पे नंबर 1 है, हो सकता है और ज्यादा हो, कईयों में नंबर 2 हो. बेसिकली द पॉइंट इज इट्स डूइंग वेरी वेल. द मोदी मॉडल इज वर्किंग. सो द क्वेश्चन नाउ इज, as what Tehseen is asking sensibly and AAP is asking irrationally, how do you win in Gujarat? I'll tell you how you win. Because if BJP is good at development, it is not best. In many parameters that it is lacking woefully, in health, for example, in many terms, in terms of law and order, in terms of a lot of other issues. Attack those. Don't attack the issues on which BJP is doing well. वही आप कर रही थी. इसीलिए ये हारे हैं. अगर आप कहोगे जैसे डॉक्टर मुनी कह रहे थे कि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट हुआ ही नहीं गुजरात में, तो भाई लोगों को क्या दिख रहा है? 30 साल से लोग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट देख रहे हैं, आप उसी को अटैक कर रहे हो. कहोगे कि यमुना इज क्लीनर देन साबरमती. पीपल कैन सी इट. You have to talk sensibly. You have to attack BJP on the issues on which it is not doing well.
And let me get in Ravi Shiva.
No, just one line. Hooda ji, you said that AAP has done very well in UP local elections. Just to break your bubble, the UP local elections are going to help in December 2022. They've still not been held. Just to let you know, they've just been declared. I don't know how they did well, but you can fact check with Gaurav Bhatia.
Well, let me also ask Mr. Ravi Srivastava one question.
According to IB, the elections have already been held.
The same IB from Bihar. Yeah, I agree. IB told the elections are already held.
Well, let me ask Mr. Ravi. 1 minute, Huda Zariwala. You can't interrupt everybody, Huda Zariwala. You're normally a very disciplined panelist. I don't know what's happened to you today. Don't take anything personally. We are only looking at statistics and doing a political analysis. We are not here to pull anybody down. We are only doing a reality check. And I also want to look at the popularity of the Prime Minister, Mr. Ravi Srivastava. The Prime Minister's strike rate is around 85%. The number of rallies and road shows that he did and the number of seats won. 85% strike rate. May I tell you, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, he's been going to Gujarat since April. Since April, 8 rallies, 17 road shows, 37 Vidhan Sabha seats were covered, seats won 4 and strike rate of 11%. Now 11% or 85% में फर्क होता है. It's 8 times more, 800% more than, if my mathematics is correct, and I don't claim to be a mathematician. Reality check me, you'll have to say that when you want to be a challenger, it's all very well to say that you are a challenger, but numbers show otherwise. So again I ask you, being recognized as a national party and then becoming a challenger to Narendra Modi, कुछ फासला अभी बाकी नहीं है क्या?
नविका जी, बेशक फासला बाकी है, लेकिन
आपका नाम रवि श्रीवास्तव जी नहीं है, हुडा जी. रवि श्रीवास्तव जी से सवाल.
The question was directed to me.
Of course, yes. First of all, thank you very much for pitching Mr. Arvind Kejriwal opposite Mr. Narendra Modi. I think that itself proves the point that he is the challenger. He is standing opposite him. At the point of 800 times and 400 times, that time will tell. It is not that everybody becomes Arvind Kejriwal is a 10-year-old politician. Mr. Modi is a 40-year, 50-year-old politician. How can you compare them? It is their popularities. As far as Kejriwal is concerned, he also has a popularity in Delhi. He also has a popularity in Punjab.
Of course, nobody is challenging that. But let me also tell you the margins of victories. Out of the 5 seats, 2 seats, there is a margin of victory of 10,000 plus votes. One seat has 10,000 plus votes, the other seat has 40,000 plus votes. But 3 seats have less than 3,000, less than 5,000 and about 7,000 votes. So, आप कह रहे हैं वोट मिले हैं, 5 सीटें मिली हैं, but others वाला जो कॉलम होता है ना, उसमें भी इतनी 5-6 सीटें आती हैं. आपकी आई है, समाजवादी पार्टी की भी 1 सीट आई है in Gujarat. And today Akhilesh Yadav has congratulated his MLA as well. So Gaurav Bhatia, is the Aam Aadmi Party punching above its weight?
Navika, that reminds me of Satinder Jain taking a massage inside the jail. The Delhi High Court has asked the Chief Minister to sack such a tainted minister, but he continues. My friend Ravi Srivastava said, खड़ा है मोदी जी के सामने, ये भी तारीफ है. तो ये तो अच्छी बात है. प्रधानमंत्री जी के सामने अगर कोई बौना भी खड़ा है, प्लीज शांत, प्लीज नाविका जी शांत करिए. ये वर्बल डायरिया वालों को क्यों पकड़ के लाती है? प्लीज शांत करिए.
Court said it is prerogative to keep him inside or not. No, incorrect. You cannot make a false statement.
Can he be quiet now?
1 minute, Mr. Ravi Srivastava. You know, anybody can be a challenger is the point Gaurav Bhatia is making. Gaurav Bhatia, complete your point, because he thinks मैंने केजरीवाल जी को खड़ा कर दिया मोदी जी के सामने. मैं सिर्फ आपको इतना बता दूं कि मैं कांग्रेस की डिबेट इसके बाद कर रही हूं. यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम टू ज्वाइन दैट एज वेल. हिमाचल में जो हो रहा है ना, क्योंकि 2 पार्टियां लड़ी थी मोदी जी के खिलाफ, एक आम आदमी पार्टी, एक कांग्रेस पार्टी. आम आदमी पार्टी का पहले एनालिसिस कर रही हूं, कांग्रेस पार्टी का अभी इसके बाद करूंगी. दोनों चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी कौन कितने पानी में है. गौरव भाटिया.
So Ravi Srivastava was talking about खड़ा है कद. मैं एक ही बात कहूंगा, कद बड़ा नहीं करता है एड़िया उठाने से, अक्सर इज्जत मिल जाती है सर झुकाने से. So please remember, Arvind Kejriwal contested against
that was a good one.
Modi ji in Varanasi.
That was a good one.
2014.
Subhan Allah.
2000.
Irshad.
Yes.
Yeah. Mukarrar, not Irshad. That's what happens when a Madrasi says.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram.
I went to the wrong madrasa. I apologize.
Navika, can I not be fined for a good couplet?
Absolutely. So Mukarrar, but Irshad is when somebody is beginning a couplet, and Mukarrar is when you want them to repeat it. So I'll just leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, as they say, and the Prime Minister emphasized this very, very clearly. When he won Gujarat, he has done his duty of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. 19 Muslim seats, 14 with the BJP. Rural seats, 104, 84 with the BJP. Tribal seats with the BJP. Majority of them, in fact 91% of them. SC/ST seats with the BJP. That is called a growth and an acceptability and a popularity and a mandate that has never been achieved before. Unprecedented. Of course, other political parties have the complete right to come out, challenge, stand against the BJP's juggernaut. But once in a while, just once in a while, especially when election data is speaking 1,000 words, data is important and a reality check is important. And we've just undertaken that exercise tonight. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on this big debate. On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, the Congress party may have managed to win Himachal Pradesh, but the ugly war over who will become the chief minister is now for the public to see. While it's winter in Shimla, degrees 3 is the temperature in Shimla. The political temperature is surely soaring, and you can see those scenes. Supporters of Pratibha Singh, the contender and the wife of late former Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh, has given an ultimatum to the High Command that if she is not chosen for the top job, then there will be hangama. Let's listen it. listen in to what Pratibha Singh, who wants the top job and many say has 20 or 25 MLAs supporting her. Listen to her warning.
कोई डिस्कशन नहीं हुआ मैम?
नहीं, अभी कोई डिस्कशन
नहीं मैम। ये कहा जा रहा है कि आपने कह दिया है कि 25 MLA आपके साथ हैं और आपको
किसने बोल दिया ऐसा? किसने? किसी के साथ नहीं है, मैंने ऐसा बोला। कोई गुटबाजी, कोई ग्रुपिज्म है यहाँ पर कि इतने या मेरे साथ इतना, नथिंग। एवरीबडी इज विद अस एंड एवरीबडी इज फॉर द पार्टी।
अभी आप 4 बजे बैठक होगी, उसके बाद उसमें तय होगा सीएम का नाम।
बिल्कुल।
कोई संख्या बल की
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल।
Well, breaking news coming in from Shimla. Observers are likely to meet each MLA, each of the 40 winning MLAs. Congress Chief Ministerial conundrum is underway in Himachal. Congress resolution, a single line resolution which authorizes the High Command to take a final decision, as at the moment not been passed, and each MLA will now meet with the observers because there is a big headache. Let me go across to my colleague Gurpreet Chinna joining me from Shimla. Gurpreet, what's the latest? Are the slogan shouting MLAs still around, supporters still around, or is there some peace and quiet?
Well, yes, of course, Congress is facing a political crisis. First of all, I request my Vijay to show these visuals. Meeting has just been over and we are showing the visual from the ground that no consensus on the name of Chief Minister. What we have learned, resolution has been moved by the MLAs and they have decided whatever the party high command is going to decide, that will be the final for all the MLAs. One-to-one is going on. We will try to talk to one of the MLA who has just come out. So, sir, क्या मीटिंग में क्या निकला?
देखिए, हिमाचल प्रदेश में के सभी कांग्रेस विधायकों की आज विधायक दल की बैठक थी और सर्वसम्मति से फैसला हुआ है कि हाई कमान का जो फैसला होगा वो सबके लिए सम्मान्य होगा और हर विधायक से जो है फीडबैक ली जा रही है।
तो अभी तक सीएम के चेहरे का पूरा क्लियर नहीं हुआ?
अरे दिल्ली में जब फैसला हो गया कि दिल्ली हाई कमान क्लियर करेगी तो दिल्ली वाले फैसला करेंगे, फीडबैक यहाँ से जारी है।
जो आपने बोला इन फाइटिंग कोई अंदरूनी कला इन फाइटिंग
बिल्कुल शांति।
So well, we can see that the meeting is just over and we have seen that feedback from one of the candidate. He is saying that final authority is the party high command. They are going to decide. So once again, I'll request my Vijay to show that what is happening on the ground. We have seen the supporter of Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu and Pratibha Singh. They are raising slogan. They keep on raising slogan. And if we can talk about this upper Himachal, especially Shimla, we have seen that huge sentiments
Chinna will keep coming back to you for more updates, and that's the situation in Himachal Pradesh. Big victory for the Congress party. 40 MLAs, but no consensus on the chief ministerial candidate. And that's the debate that we're picking up. Congress Himachal conundrum, the debate straight up going across to तहसीन पूनावाला. तहसीन पूनावाला, बहुत मुबारक हो. ये स्लोगनिंग बहुत मुबारक हो आपको, ये सरदर्द बहुत मुबारक हो आपको. और एक चीज बता दीजिए, योर MLA in Himachal gave away the secret of democracy. वो कह रहे हैं कि दिल्ली में फैसला होगा, हमने तो बागडोर दे दिया हाई कमांड को. तो दिल्ली तो अभी रणथंभौर में है.
No. Kharge ji is the president, but I told you on your Hindi show and I'm repeating it. Number one, never these questions asked for BJP. 6th April, Assam elections got over. 10th May, Himanta Biswa Sharma ji became chief minister. There you don't ask questions why the strongest man in the universe cannot appoint a chief minister within 2 hours. But here I am telling you this, all 40 MLAs are capable of becoming chief ministers. Rajiv Shukla and Bhupesh Baghel will speak to all of them. Some will say let the high command decide, some will give their names, and the candidate with the maximum names will become chief minister. I am making this very clear. No one will leave the party, no one will rebel. All 40 are capable of becoming, and whatever the majority of MLAs decide, that person will become the chief minister.
Anand Ranganathan, do you want to compliment him for his confidence?
No, absolutely. Tehseen has never been shown of confidence, Navika. Even yesterday, he got from the backside of Times Now building without showing the proof that we were on the guest. He said, "Arey bhai, andar ja rahe hain, jaane do." But the fact is, are you noticing something? All the stars have aligned, Navika. Because let me give you just 3 examples. Today is Miss Sonia Gandhi's birthday. today is also World Anti-Corruption Day. And today is also the day when Ms. Pratibha Singh is the same person who is aspiring to be the Prime Minister. And here I want Tehseen's answer in yes or no.
Chief Minister.
Chief Minister. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Yeah, I'm thinking 10 years ahead. No, but I want Tehseen's answer in yes or no. Did the court order a charge sheet to be filed against Ms. Pratibha Singh for corruption or not? Yes or no?
Yes, but BJP failed to do so.
On World Anti-Corruption Day and Sonia Gandhiji's birthday.
Yes, in income tax
answer
case under BJP. Yes, in income tax case under BJP, and they didn't do it.
Under BJP. Court is under BJP.
The income tax case is under BJP. It's the income tax case, and income tax is solely under BJP. कोर्ट ऑर्डर ना, तो बीजेपी को करना चाहिए. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी उनकी थी, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी उनकी थी, इनकम टैक्स भी उनका है, ईडी भी उनका है, सीबीआई भी उनका है. कुछ करते नहीं. यही तो मैं कहता हूं, कुछ नहीं करते बीजेपी.
गौरव भाटिया, रिस्पॉन्ड.
Thank you. Yes. Navika, first of all, let me make it very clear. लोग जीते हैं इज्जत कमाने के लिए. कांग्रेस जीती है सत्ता पाने के लिए. इनको मलाई खाने को मिल जाए बस. And just look at the different factions that have emerged. 24 hours have passed and 3 factions have emerged. And मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा. वीरभद्र सिंह जी स्वर्गीय दूसरी पार्टी के हो सकते हैं, लेकिन उनको ताश का पत्ता बता दिया प्रतिभा सिंह ने. कहती है जब कुछ नहीं चला तो हमने वीरभद्र सिंह का कार्ड खेल दिया. मैं समझता हूं तहसीन भी मेरे साथ सहमत होंगे. किसी स्वर्गीय पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री के लिए कहना कि हमने ये कार्ड चल दिया बहुत आपत्तिजनक था. तीसरी बड़ी बात जो है, जैसा कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने कल भी कहा, परिवारवाद, दैट इज अगेन आउट इन द ओपन. You know, Gandhi Parivar has taught this dynastic rule even to Pratibha Singh and Vikramaditya Singh, and together they are bail gadi. Pratibha Singh is out on bail on corruption charges. Vikramaditya Singh is out on bail on corruption charges, just like Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Robert Vadra. What does it show? These people can stoop to any level to grasp power. They don't have the feeling.
But Gaurav Bhatia, you can't deny that the people have voted for them. You can't deny. थोड़ा सा फर्क है वोट शेयर का, but you can't deny. And it's also not beyond the BJP's this thing to look at the data, and the data shows actually your 10 rebel MLAs have done you in. That is where the loss of vote share happened, and that is where you've lost your 10 seats. Otherwise, you would be in contention.
But you know, Gaurav Bhai is very upset. Gaurav Bhai, very short, he's very upset because everywhere the Prime Minister campaigned in Himachal, everywhere they lost the seat. And Prime Minister said, "Mujhe vote do." And Prime Minister lost to Srimati.
But that's not the point. The point is there are 4 contenders and one more name, Anirudh.
There are 40 contenders, 40 capable.
Okay. Last word to Gaurav Bhatia.
No one man.
Last word to Gaurav Bhatia ji.
एक शेर कहना चाहूंगा गौरव जी के, मैंने 3 शेर सुनी है.
मेरे पास टाइम नहीं.
हिमाचल के ऊपर एक शेर.
I have very little time on the show. Gaurav Bhatia first, please.
गौरव जी सुन लीजिए.
Yes, thank you. Navika, just the way I can't deny the mandate is for the Congress in Himachal, the same way you cannot deny that very gracefully Shri Narendra Modi ji,
That's true.
Janata Party,
Nobody can deny that.
And didn't blame the Election Commission of India, EVM, the media.
Absolutely.
So please, we accept the verdict, but don't make it another Rajasthan where Ashok Gehlot called Sachin Pilot Nikamma, Gaddar. Don't make it another Rajasthan, please, for God's sake.
नाविका एक शेर, जाते जाते एक शेर, गौरव जी के 3 सुन चुका हूँ. हाँ, इरशाद. हिमाचल के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में मैं गौरव जी से यही कहना चाहूंगा कि उम्र भर गौरव यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी, आईना साफ करता रहा.
उम्र भर तो नहीं, पर कम से कम पिछले कुछ महीनों में तो यही होता रहा. But that debate on another day. Thank you very much for such a lively debate. And ladies and gentlemen, the idea tonight was just to look at the reality and to deep dive into the election results and what they mean for the future. 2 parties challenging the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. One calls itself a national party, the numbers tell a different story. The other has won an election in a state, but look at the sloganeering. Well, we'll wait and watch what happens next in Himachal Pradesh. For now, that's all on the News Hour. Thank you very much for joining me, and good night and be safe.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
हाल ही में हमने उबर का एक इवेंट अटेंड किया था जहां पर हमें बातचीत करने का मौका मिला सूरज नायर से, जो कि है सेफ्टी ऑपरेशंस के हेड एट उबर इंडिया एज वेल एज साउथ एशिया। हमने पूछे उनसे कई सवाल, आइए देखते हैं इस वीडियो में।
I think I really can't comment on public transportation in general, but what I would definitely want to say is that we as a platform are trying to be as safe for women riders as possible. In fact, very recently we hit the milestone of training more than 100,000 drivers on the platform for gender sensitization. In fact, as the number stands right now, we have trained more than 130,000 drivers on the platform, especially on gender sensitization. So, I mean, we from time to time obviously work on such initiatives which are industry first, which make sure that women experience a safe ride on the platform. I think we definitely want to encourage more and more women drivers on the platform. In fact, in the US, we recently launched a product called Women Rider Preferred, wherein our women drivers will get the option to be paired only with women riders. And that's something which we believe is going to be very empowering for our women drivers to feel safe on the platform, especially if they're taking, let's say, nighttime trips, etc. So that's something which we are evaluating for our market, and which we would definitely want to see if we can launch it here for India. And yeah, we are partnering with multiple organizations to get more and more women drivers on the platform, and something which we constantly endeavor towards. Yeah, gender sensitization is not just about drivers being sensitized towards women riders, but it's also about sensitizing drivers against sensitizing our drivers for all genders. So that is something which we will definitely work towards and get done. It's a very interesting idea and something which we have ourselves discussed and deliberated quite a lot. I think the challenge here would be to have a service which is very reliable, because the last thing that you would want is someone trying to book a pink cab but then not having vehicles available, right? So that's going to be a challenge that we are going to solve. Again, it's not an easy challenge because the number of women drivers is on the platform really low, and in general also commercial women drivers, the numbers are fairly low. So it's going to be challenging for us to do that at this point. But what we are doing is that we are partnering with organizations, NGOs, to increase the participation of women in the commercial driving space. And once we feel that we have critical mass, we can definitely think.
You're watching the News Hour at 9.
Delhi Women Commission Chief Swati Maliwal faces charges of corruption on allegations of abuse of position for irregular appointments. The opposition asks Kejriwal government to sack her. After BJP swept the Gujarat elections, Bhupendra Patel submitted his resignation as the Chief Minister to the Governor. The new government will be formed in Gujarat on the 12th of December. According to sources, the Maharashtra government is soon set to introduce a law against forced conversion in the state.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
Meta laid off 11,000 plus employees, Amazon 10,000, Twitter 3,700 plus, Snapchat 6,000. Guys, लिस्ट और भी लंबी है और अगर एक हेडलाइन जो हर न्यूज़पेपर, हर न्यूज़ चैनल चला रहा है आजकल, that's about layoffs affecting the big tech industry. Big tech companies are in big trouble. एक टाइम था जब ये इंडस्ट्री फ्यूचर प्रूफ थी एंड जॉब सिक्योरिटी के लिए काफी जानी जाती थी, बट रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी के नाम पे भर भर के जॉब कट्स हो रहे हैं. सो क्या टेक का ड्रीम रन ओवर हो चुका है? What lies ahead? Let's find out in this video and I'm Sumita Karir. बिग टेक का बिग रीसेट मोमेंट आ चुका है गाइस. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक्स फर्स्ट. एक्सटेंट ऑफ लेऑफ्स की बात करें तो 2022 में मोर देन 1,37,492 वर्कर्स हैव बीन लेड ऑफ अक्रॉस 850 प्लस टेक कंपनीज. बट हाउ डिड बिग टेक गेट हियर? Well, number one, misplaced pandemic boom. Online businesses में boom हुआ after the COVID-19 pandemic, where everybody was stuck at home. सब घर पे बैठ के ऑर्डर कर रहे थे, नेटफ्लिक्स पे कंटेंट देख रहे थे और सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे थे. तो नेचुरली बिजनेसेस ने वहां स्पेंड करना शुरू कर दिया जहां ग्रोथ दिखी. लाइक मेटा ओवरस्पेंट ऑन मेटावर्स, AR, VR टेक्नोलॉजीज टू द ट्यून ऑफ, कुछ रिपोर्ट्स बोल रही हैं, अराउंड $36 बिलियन. एंड बाय द वे, मेटावर्स कोई 1-1.5 साल में तो सेटअप नहीं होने वाला है. सो ओवर ऑप्टिमिज्म दैट दिस डिजिटल बूम विल फॉरएवर स्टे. इसकी वजह से इन्वेस्टर्स भी पैसा डालते गए, हायरिंग्स और स्पेंड्स बढ़ते गए. पर जैसे ही कोविड रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लिफ्ट हुए तब आया स्टोरी में ट्विस्ट. नाउ ये डिमांड जो है डिजिटल इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए, डिजिटल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज के लिए, ये सस्टेन नहीं रही. बिकॉज ऑफिस जाना है तो कितना फेसबुक यूज करोगे, कितना नेटफ्लिक्स देखोगे. एंगेजमेंट इन सारे प्लेटफॉर्म से गिर गई एंड ग्रोथ सस्टेन नहीं हुई. Zoom फॉर इंस्टेंस, द वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग कंपनी, उसके शेयर्स अभी 90% डाउन है. नंबर 2, दूसरा रीजन है ग्लोबल इन्फ्लेशन एंड मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक ट्रेंड्स. नाउ जब ग्रोथ गिर गई तो उसके बाद आया इन्वेस्टर्स का प्रेशर टू फिक्स वैल्यूएशंस. ऊपर से रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर ने इन्फ्लेशन, इंटरेस्ट रेट सबको बढ़ा दिया, व्हिच इज पुट प्रेशर ऑन द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी. डिपिंग रेवेन्यू. इसके बाद क्या हुआ? एडवर्टाइजर्स ने भी लेस स्पेंडिंग करना शुरू कर दिया और ओवरऑल रेवेन्यूज जो थे इन डिजिटल कंपनीज के वो गिरने शुरू हो गए. फेसबुक का रेवेन्यू वाज डाउन 52% इन Q3 ऑफ दिस ईयर. गूगल टू रिपोर्टेड द स्लोएस्ट ग्रोथ इन 10 years. सो नाउ दीज कंपनीज आर टाइटनिंग देयर बेल्ट and, in their words, becoming more streamlined and hence slashing jobs. In fact,
Good evening and welcome. You are watching the News Hour Agenda. I am Padmaja Joshi. The election results of the last few polls seem to be giving wind to the growing assertion that the theory of an antagonistic relationship shared historically between the Bharatiya Janata Party and Muslims is just that, a theory. Sample this. The BJP not only won 14 of the 19 seats dominated by Muslims in Gujarat, but also managed to win the assembly seat of Rampur for the very first time, a seat that has more than 50% Muslims in it. Before this, the Bharatiya Janata Party has won the Lok Sabha by-elections in Rampur as well as the Lok Sabha by-elections in Azamgarh. By the way, Azamgarh also has over 40% Muslim Yadav population. Take a look now at the Gujarat numbers and how they have changed over the years. From 7 Muslim-dominated seats that the BJP won last year, that tally has now climbed to 14 for the party. The Congress has gone down from 10 to only 4 of these seats. Of these 4 wins, by the way, only 1 MLA is Muslim, which now means that the BJP has a 74% strike rate in Muslim-dominated seats. Of the seats that the BJP has won, it has taken away Abdasa, Bapunagar, Daryapur, Palampur, Sidhpur and Vankaner from the Congress. The irony is that these Muslim-dominated seats have gone from the Congress, which claims that we are the only party who are truly secular and who truly speak for Muslims and other communities. From the truly secular party, these seats have now shifted to the BJP. That same minority which the Congress woos has not placed its trust in them. The question remains, why?
यार ये सब अरिथमेटिक बाद में करेंगे। मोटी बात यह है कि गुजरात ने आम आदमी पार्टी MIM ने बीजेपी को मदद की है कांग्रेस को हराने के लिए। कितने सीट हम हारे हैं, कितना वोट शेयर कम हुआ है, इसका आंकलन बाद में करेंगे।
गुजरात विधानसभा चुनाव में जिस तरीके से कांग्रेस ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वॉकआउट देने का काम किया, आम आदमी पार्टी ऐन चुनाव के समय पे दिल्ली में व्यस्त हो गई चुनाव में, और समाजवादी पार्टी कुछ सीटों पर हमने चुनाव जरूर लड़ा था, हमने एक सीट को जीतने का भी काम किया है। बाकी जो मुख्य विपक्षी पार्टियां थी गुजरात में, उन लोगों ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए मैदान को साफ कर दिया था, इसलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी की वहां पर सरकार बनी है। अल्पसंख्यकों ने किसको वोट दिया, किसको नहीं दिया, ये बड़ा मुद्दा नहीं है।
भाजपा को या मोदी जी को भारत का मुसलमान सिर्फ गुजरात में नहीं है, अलग अलग कई जगह में वोट दिए हैं, फिर भी बीजेपी या भाजपा वालों मुसलमान को गाली गलौज करते हैं वोट देने के बाद भी। और जहां तक गुजरात के सवाल है, गुजरात में ऐसा कोई सब्स्टिट्यूट है ही नहीं, किसको देगा? पोजीशन नाम का कोई चीज है ही नहीं है। जो भी एंटी बीजेपी का वोट था, वो वोट भी आप कांग्रेस इसमें डिवाइड हो गया। तो चैलेंज देने वाला वहां पे कोई ऐसा है ही नहीं नेता जिसके ऊपर भरोसा करके एंटी बीजेपी कोई आदमी अपोजिशन को वोट दे।
So have the Muslims really given a message that they are not going to be held prisoner to the whole idea of real secular parties being the only ones to speak for them? Let down by those who claimed to be their real protectors, are Muslims in India, not just in Gujarat, willing to try out the BJP, or is the voice and vote of the Muslims rendered completely irrelevant to election outcomes?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Alright, joining us on the debate is Satyen Kulabkar, spokesperson of the BJP in Gujarat, Kalimul Hafiz, AIMIM president of Delhi, Zeba Yasmin, spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, and Qamar Zaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress. But my first question is to Zafar Sareshwala, former chancellor of the Maulana Azad National Urdu University, and somebody who not just belongs to Gujarat, lives in Gujarat, but also runs a number of charitable organizations for Muslims across the state. Zafar Sareshwala, today you have given an interesting hypothesis saying that Muslims are now increasingly voting for the BJP. Why do you say that? Because the political party's argument is Congress is losing Muslim votes only because vote katwa parties are coming in. BJP is got nothing to do with that. Zafar Sareshwala.
No, see, Padmaja, this has not happened yesterday or day before yesterday. You know, we all know that 2002 happened in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, and myself and my extended family were victims of that. My office was burned, my house was burnt, our factory was burned, it was reduced to ashes. More than 1,000 Muslim establishments were reduced to ashes. In 2002, Muslims made a very concentrated decision that from now on, if we want to remain relevant, we need to do only 3 things: education, employment, entrepreneurship. And Muslims went after that. In 2000 till 2002, Ahmedabad had 3 Muslim-run schools. Today, there are 79. Muslims in small and medium enterprises in Gujarat, Muslim population is 9.8%, but in SME sector, Muslims representation is 23%, and that's what happening. In 2007, when Mr. Modi got second term, after that he created this atmosphere and he started meeting Muslims, and from 2007 till 2014 run up to the election, he must have met at least 250 plus Muslim groups across the state and from outside the state. So basically there was a hijab, a parda kind of between BJP and the Muslims. But after 2007, because there were only 3 Muslims MLAs, and Muslims are spread across the state, so how would they deal? What they have their work, they have their institutions. So Muslims started inviting BJP MLAs to their functions, and they came. They started inviting the Chief Minister, then Chief Minister Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi used to attend Muslim business conclaves, Muslim hospital inauguration, and that that parda or that hijab kind of a thing started diminishing. And then Muslims started thinking, and this thinking came very strongly in this election. Okay. BJP is there for the past 28 years. What have we lost? We have developed, our schools have developed, businesses have developed. Of course, some small thing like, Kheda flogging or Bilkis Banu rapist, getting, coming out of the jail, 1 or 2 such instances. Overall, Muslims think that are we contracted by the so-called secular party to defeat BJP? It is your fight. You fight. Why are you bringing us in the firing range?
Okay, you have started with a very interesting analogy.
Is emanating even in UP now.
I want to open this up using that analogy that you put forward, Zafar Saab, and I will ask first the Congress and then the AIMIM. Zafar Saab says, Qamar Zaman Chaudhary, that for very long so-called secular parties had put this hijab, this parda between the BJP and Muslims, and now that parda has been raised. Now Muslims also know that we were used and thrown by the so-called secular parties, and if somebody is benefiting us, we are going to vote for them, namely the BJP, at least in Gujarat. Qamar Zaman Chaudhary.
Yeah, Padmaja, one thing is very clear that is coming out from your debate tonight is that Muslim as a vote bank is not homogeneous in India. The other way the ecosystem will want us to believe. In the assembly polls that went in Gujarat very recently, the constituencies mostly around 19 constituencies where Muslims are in majority, you can see the maximum vote share of the Muslims. If 100% of the Muslims would have voted also, it's not more than 26 to 28%, starting from 14%. The 19 seats that went to the polls, the BJP has done very wonderfully out there. There is no denying the fact. Even on those dark days of Gujarat genocide 2002, Muslims had voted for Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay, first of all, sir, it was not a Muslim genocide, it was a riot. Please do not make communal statements. Remember, it started with the burning alive of Godhra, of car sevaks at Godhra. I do not want to make this a communal debate. This is an analytical debate. So please do not make communally charged statements. Come to the point. What is your point, Mr. Chaudhary?
The point will remain however you want me to change my point of view. But then
it is not a point of view, sir. It is a fact. People of both religions died in what was a riot. Now please come to your point.
I don't want to get into the debate.
Yeah, so you brought it up, don't get into that debate. Go on.
I don't want to get into that debate.
There is no debate, it's a fact.
Okay, the fact will remain, ma'am.
Yes, go on.
You know this, that will remain, whatever I said will remain. Now the basic point that out here, what Zafar Saab has said out here, the simple point out here, Muslims, whether they have voted for the BJP or not, they won the Uttar Pradesh constituency, Bharatiya Janata Party won. Even here also, even the Godhra constituency where there was a very big massacre.
So what is your point? Do you agree that Muslims are voting for the BJP or not?
Out there. Wait, let me finish my point, ma'am. If you permit me, let me explain now what is happening out here. There are certain communities within the Muslim communities that have traditionally voted for the BJP. That there are plenty number of reasons out there. Now, has the vote share of the Muslims in the BJP increased or not? Definitely no. Because somewhere or the other, the Muslims have been politically isolated.
Sir, according to Pew Research, in 2019 elections, the percentage of Muslims voting for the BJP has doubled. Close to 20% Muslims voted for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the 2019 election. So this assertion of yours does not hold. What's your next point?
Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sharma clearly said once that we do not need the votes of the Muslims.
Sir, I am talking about facts. Now you are going down to anecdotal evidence of who said what. I am asking you clearly. Data seems to suggest that there are seats where Muslims are in majority, where the BJP is winning. I am asking you, why is this happening if Muslims are not voting for the BJP according to you?
There is not even a single instance where their BJP has won because of the Muslim votes, because in all the constituencies where the Muslims are in majority in Gujarat, the Muslims vote did not matter only.
Okay, did it not? Very quickly, Zafar Saab respond, then I am going to actually bring out data for you which belies your claim. Zafar Saab respond. Yes.
I can see, I am from Ahmedabad and I have grown in Gujarat. I know about all those Muslim constituencies. This result would not have been possible without substantial Muslim vote going to that candidate. And one more thing, I want to talk about isolation. This Congress party, which once upon a time used to give 18 seats to the Muslims, it has reduced to 5. Out of 182, this party, which has thrived on Muslim votes, has reduced Muslims to 5. And I'll tell you one more thing, Padmaja. Congress party has not given a single ticket to any Muslim in Lok Sabha since 1984. So BJP is not giving, you are also not giving, and you are thriving on our votes. So don't talk about political isolation. That isolation has been done by the party which has thrived on our votes.
Create a perception the Muslims
You
are coming back.
you have reduced, your party has not given ticket to a single Muslim since 84.
You have politically isolated.
You give me the reason
you have
why your party has not given ticket to a single
you have vilified the community. You do not give any political representation.
No, you give me the answer for this. You give me answer for this. Why have you reduced from 18 to 5? Why have you reduced
the minority scholarship?
No.
Now you are singing.
Kamal Chaudhary, there is a very simple question being asked of you. Why are you not answering, Zafar Saab? If you keep saying that BJP is anti-Muslim, why have you not given any Lok Sabha ticket? Answer. He is saying that you have a use and throw policy. Answer.
Winnability factor from the Congress side. No. Why does the BJP not given a single ticket over the last few years in any state of India? Why is that? We give to the tickets. Muslims in Gujarat have 9.8%.
You reply to me. Padmaja, I want an answer for 84.
Answer, Zafar Saab.
You have not given.
No.
Answer him.
Zafar Saab, out of the 403, after the 403
you answer me, why you have not given?
Find a single candidate in Uttar Pradesh. Now why you have not given? उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को लाते सर, आपने क्यों नहीं दिया?
अरे सर, you at least hold your own party to the standard you are setting. All right. Now I want to go across to Kalimul Hafiz, but before that, I think the silence of Kamal Chaudhary to Zafar Sareshwala's question is answer enough. But before I bring you in Kalimul Hafiz, I want you to take a look at a little data, and this actually is in your defense. Why? Because we have got data of all of these seats which the BJP has won. What is the logic given to you? अरे AIMIM आम आदमी पार्टी, that's what Jairam Ramesh said, that AIMIM आम आदमी पार्टी ने वोट काट दिया कांग्रेस का, इसीलिए बीजेपी जीत गई. The only place where this actually holds true is Daryapur, which has been won by the BJP for the first time. How are we saying that? Look at this. The vote percentage of the BJP in this seat is 49%. Congress is at 44%. The difference is 5% roughly. And the Aam Aadmi Party and the AIMM just about are 5%. So let's assume that if this 5% went to the Congress, maybe they would have had the same vote share as the BJP in Daryapur. But let's look at the other seats now. Does the same logic apply? If you take a look at Surat East, here the BJP got 52% votes, Congress is at 42%, but the AIMIM is only 1%. So even if this 1% vote of the AIMIM was with the Congress, they would be nowhere close to what the BJP got, a whopping 52% in a seat where you've got about 10% Muslim population. In Limbayat, the argument was, oh, there were so many independents, the vote was taken away, and which is why the BJP lost. But look at the difference. You had 53%, more than half of that constituency voted for the BJP. Congress was a measly 16%. The Aam Aadmi Party actually got 21% and the AIMIM had 2%. Yet, if we added this and this,
to the Congress's tally, they would still be about just what? 21, 27, 37, 38, 39. 39 versus 53. And finally, one more dipstick analysis I want to do with Bapu Nagar. And in Bapu Nagar, the BJP had 48% vote share. And even if we add Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, they would be at still about 5% less than the BJP. So Kaleemul Hafiz, आप कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं? क्योंकि अब जब बीजेपी ये सारी मुस्लिम डोमिनेटेड सीट जीत रही है, इल्जाम आप पे लगाया जा रहा है कि आप वोट काट रहे हैं. क्या ये सच में वोट काट रहे हैं या कांग्रेस अपनी नाकामी छुपा रही है? कलीमुल हाफिज.
देखिए, गुजरात में ये जो मुस्लिम्स जो बीजेपी को वोट कर रहे हैं उसकी मजबूरी समझिए आप, और मेरे हिसाब से तो एक तरह से ठीक भी कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि कांग्रेस को वोट देने से भी कोई फायदा नहीं और आम आदमी पार्टी को भी वोट देने से कोई फायदा नहीं, और खुद अपनी वो लीडरशिप में अभी उनको इतना एतमाद नहीं है. लेकिन एक तरफ जहां पे गोधरा का जो एमएलए है वो 50% वोट लेता है, जबकि वो संस्कारी बताता है बिल्किस बानो के रेपिस्ट को छोड़ने वालों की. इसी तरीके से मोरबी के जहां बीजेपी 140 लोगों की हत्या की दोषी है, वहां 60% वोट मिलता है. इसी तरीके से नरोदा पाटिया जो दोषी है बाकायदा, उसकी बेटी को 70% वोट मिलता है.
पर सर क्यों
तो यहां से ये मालूम होता है कि बीजेपी और ये जो सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर पार्टीज हैं, इन सब ने मिलकर मुस्लिम वोट को इररिलेवेंट कर दिया और एक वोट बैंक बताकर डराने की कोशिश.
इररिलेवेंट कैसे किया?
मुसलमान ने बेहतर फैसला किया है.
आपने तो अपने कैंडिडेट खड़े किए, आपको दे देते. इस बार 1% से कम वोट आपकी पार्टी को मिला है. आपने 13 सीटें लड़ी, 1% वोट भी आप नहीं जुटा पाए. मुस्लिम वोट इररिलेवेंट कैसा हुआ? आपके तो आप कैंडिडेट थे, आपको मिल जाता वोट, क्यों नहीं मिला? क्योंकि उन्होंने सोचा हम नहीं देंगे आपको वोट, हम बीजेपी को देंगे, हमारा मन है.
मैडम, मैं आपको दिल्ली में बताता हूं, दिल्ली में भी चुनाव साथ हुआ, दिल्ली में भी हमने 15 सीट लड़ी, हम 2 सीटों पर सेकंड नंबर रहे और फर्स्ट पे कांग्रेस जीती. और आज वो जो लोग जीते थे कांग्रेस वाले, वो दोनों आज आम आदमी पार्टी में शामिल हो गए. तो ये जो सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर पार्टीज जो मुस्लिम्स को खड़ा करती है, वो इतने मतलब गैर जिम्मेदार होते हैं कि वो कभी भी बदल लेते हैं. तो इसलिए
आप इन इररिलेवेंट पार्टीज के पीछे क्यों छुप रहे हैं? मैं तो आपकी बात कर रही हूं. आप थे ना मैदान में, अगर मुस्लिम वोट को आपको देना होता वो दे देते, आपको नहीं दिया. मैं ये कह रही हूं कि अब आपकी जैसी पार्टी को और समाजवादी पार्टी को और कांग्रेस को मुस्लिम नहीं देना चाहते हैं. शायद आपको फिर भी दे दें अगर आप मजबूत हो, इनको नहीं देना चाहते हैं.
मैडम, मैं आप ही की बात आगे बढ़ा रहा हूं कि हम उन पे एतमाद जताने में या उनके यकीन जीतने में कामयाब नहीं हो पाए. उन्होंने मजबूरन, चूंकि जो धोखा खाया है कांग्रेस से और दूसरी और पार्टियों से छलावा खाया है, वो मजबूरन बीजेपी में चले गए.
अच्छा, धोखा खाया है. सत्येन कुलाबकर, दीज आर पीपल हु वर जिल्टेड, सो यू आर जस्ट बेनिफिटिंग फ्रॉम दैट. सबसे हार करके, सबसे हताश होकर के देव कम टू यू.
So I was listening to the entire debate, and while going through the debate, none of them has mentioned a single point. I will agree to what Safar Sareshwalaji was saying about the voting pattern that has come across. But the reason, there are so many reasons. See, while we talk of the development of Gujarat, we also talk of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. We never talk of some, Kham theory which Congress introduced during Solanki's time. Kham was like 3 castes which were taken together. There was a OTP theory which AAP was trying to plug in Gujarat. That was OBC, Patidar and tribals, which also didn't work for them. We always, Bharatiya Janata Party was one party who brought Vikas and the development as a model of politics. See, before that, all the elections were typically fought on the caste and creed model. Okay. I would like to give you 2-3 examples. When Narendra Bhai inspected the entire vaccination drive and we were able to create a vaccine, the vaccination was given all across to 190 crore Indians. It was never like given to a X community or a Y community. Okay. When the Gujarat government gives you a scheme of say Ayushman Bharat for 5 lakh rupee of medical. Let me tell you, these maximum benefits are taken by so many other communities also.
Okay, and here is the data, Kalimul Hafiz. Kalimul Hafiz wants to respond. Here is the data given by the Minority Affairs Minister 2 years ago. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, 35 to 40% beneficiaries are poor Muslims, 31% houses in minority dominated areas. PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, 33% beneficiaries are minorities. PM Ujjwala, 37% beneficiaries are minorities. PM Mudra, 36% beneficiaries are minorities, and this means that the poorest and the minorities get a chance to open their own shop, their own businesses. कलीमुल हाफिज, और ये सिर्फ निराशा नहीं है, उनको उम्मीद कहीं से मिल रही है। कोई कह रहा है अपने पैरों पे खड़े हो, हमेशा गरीब मत रहो। कलीमुल हाफिज
मैडम, शुरू में जफर सरेशवाला साहब ने एजुकेशन की बात की, अभी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स ने सारी स्कॉलरशिप बंद कर दी। पहले क्लास 8 तक की सारी स्कॉलरशिप बंद कर दी, और आज ही खबर है कि जो हायर स्टडीज के लिए माइनॉरिटीज के लिए जो मौलाना आजाद फेलोशिप थी, बिल्कुल बंद कर। यानी जो स्ट्रक्चर कमेटी ये बताती है कि एजुकेशनली इतना बैकवर्ड है मुस्लिम, और उसने उसको सजेस्ट किया था कि इनको कुछ स्कॉलरशिप दे दो तो शायद ये मैच कर जाए जो अदर इंडियंस से, लेकिन वो भी बंद कर दी। तो ये जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खाने के दांत अलग है, दिखाने के अलग है। सही मायनों में ये मुस्लिम विरोध पे इनका पूरी नीति है, वो तो मजबूरी है। अब मजबूरी कहां जाए जब
सत्यन कुलाबकर रिस्पॉन्ड, देन आई विल ब्रिंग इन जफर साहब अगेन। सत्यन कुलाबकर, बिकॉज़ हिज नेम इज टेकन। सत्यन कुलाबकर
की बात रही है, ये उसकी मजबूरी है, और ये लोकतंत्र की विडंबना कहिए या तकलीफ।
सर, लोकतंत्र में कभी कोई मजबूर नहीं होता, यही तो ग्रेट थिंग है लोकतंत्र में, कि कभी वोटर की कोई मजबूरी नहीं होती कि मैं मुसलमान हूं तो मुसलमान को वोट दूं। वोटर हमेशा कहता है कि भाई मैं उसको वोट दूंगा जो मेरी बात करे, जो मेरा काम करे। दैट इज डेमोक्रेसी। बट रिस्पॉन्ड टू द minority scholarship, Satyen Kulapkar, then I'll bring in Zafar Sarishwala. Yes.
How long, I don't know for how long these people are going to play this casteism card. Can they talk? Can this party ever come and talk that this XYZ things are the development factors that we have done and we want to encash on that? Why can't they talk of 35,000 engineering seats that are developed in Gujarat? Engineering seats are not divided on the basis of Hindus or Muslims. I would just like to say that there are medical seats, there are seats. Education has gone to that level in Gujarat, where people outside Gujarat are coming to have education in this state because
Zafar Sarishwala, other than these
Zafar Sarishwala was also vice chancellor of a university. He will endorse my words that people from outside, not even from the country but outside country, there are 1200. I am also trustee of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. There are 1200 foreign students who are studying in this city. Imagine what is the environment that is done. This is a safe state, they say. People can walk around at 2 o'clock.
Zafar Sarishwala, are people looking at more anecdotal, episodic instances and saying, अरे उस आदमी ने बोल दिया कि जो रेपिस्ट थे वो संस्कारी ब्राह्मण थे, अरे उस आदमी ने ऐसा क्यों बोल दिया, why was the whipping done, and the larger picture and messaging is ignored?
Padmaja, see I'll tell you the Muslim psyche. और पहली बात तो कोई दुनिया में वोटर जो होता है ना, वो दादा होता है, वो कभी डर के वोट देता ही नहीं है, वो तो ताकत है उसकी। 5 साल में एक बार उसके पास ताकत आती है वोटर के पास, वो पॉलिटिशियन हाथ पैर जोड़ता है वोटर के, तो वोटर कभी भी मजबूरी में वोट नहीं देता। एक बात। दूसरी बात, आई टेल यू व्हाट, ठीक है, देखिए बीजेपी का जो एक नैरेटिव है उनकी पार्टी का, वो कुछ बोलते हैं इधर उधर, वो अलग बात है। मुसलमान क्या देखता है, मुझे क्या मिला। नाउ बिकॉज आई एम कंटिन्यूसली इन कॉन्टैक्ट विद द गवर्नमेंट, कोई स्कीमों के अंदर गुजरात गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम देता हूं मैं आपको 3। एक स्कीम है मामेरू बोलते हैं, यानी लड़की की जब शादी होती है तो उसको एक पैकेट मिलता है, 5,000 रुपए मिलते हैं और कुछ चीजें मिलती हैं, उसमें जाके आपको खाली रजिस्टर करना है। आज तक एक किस्सा ऐसा नहीं आया कि किसी मुसलमान लड़की को वो नहीं मिला इसलिए कि वो मुसलमान है। दूसरा, गुजरात गवर्नमेंट की एक स्कीम है मेडिकल, जिसमें हार्ट की सर्जरी, ओपन हार्ट सर्जरी, कैंसर के जो बीमारियां हैं जिसमें रेडिएशन और कीमोथेरापी के लिए, उसमें आज तक एक किस्सा ऐसा नहीं आया कि किसी मुसलमान को मदद नहीं मिली हो इसलिए कि वो मुसलमान है। तो मुसलमान ये देखता है कि ऑन ग्राउंड क्या है, पार्टी के लोग क्या बोलते हैं, XYZ क्या बोलता है, ही इज नॉट बॉदर्ड। वो ये देखता है कि ये जो कुर्सी पे बैठे हैं वो मुझे वहां से क्या मिलता है या नहीं मिलता। और दूसरी बात, गुजरात के अंदर हम लोग जब बड़े हो रहे थे तब हमको बाहर जाना पड़ता था मेडिकल, इंजीनियरिंग, फार्मेसी के लिए। मोदी साहब ने जितनी इंजीनियरिंग सीट्स और जितनी मेडिकल, फार्मेसी और प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज की सीट्स गुजरात में की हैं, इतनी कभी पहले नहीं थी। आपको मैं लेके चलता हूं पद्मजा, आप गुजरात की किसी कॉलेज में चलिए, मेरे साथ किसी क्लास में चलिए, आपको 8-10 मुस्लिम बच्चियां मिलेंगी और कम से कम 3-4 हिजाब वाली मिलेंगी। हिजाब का प्रॉब्लम कर्नाटक में हुआ, लेकिन जितनी हिजाब की बच्चियां गुजरात में और अहमदाबाद में इतनी कहीं नहीं है, लेकिन कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ। तो मुसलमान ये देखता है कि भाई 28 साल से इनकी हुकूमत है, छोटी मोटी चीजें होती है, मुझे क्या तकलीफ है। और मुसलमान ये भी सोचता है कि अगर बीजेपी की हुकूमत जाएगी और अगर इनकी आएगी तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा।
Exactly.
तो क्या
at that point you will be reduced to a vote bank. Ultimately the voter looks out for what he gets. ज़ेबा यास्मीन, और जितना ये गुजरात में अप्लाई करता है उतना ये रामपुर, आजमगढ़, कन्नौज, इन सब जगहों पे भी अप्लाई करता है। More importantly, आजमगढ़ की एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज आपको बता दूं, रामपुर everyone is talking about, but since we are talking about Azamgarh, you will be surprised that Azamgarh held up even at a time when Yogi Adityanath came to power. At that time, Yogi Adityanath became the first full-time chief minister to return to office since independence. Samajwadi Party won all 10 assembly segments of Azamgarh. उसके सिर्फ 3 महीने बाद जब वहां पर आजमगढ़ के लोकसभा बायपोल हुए, बीजेपी won it. What does that say, ज़ेबा यास्मीन? The voter said, मुझे कोई फायदा नहीं हो रहा है समाजवादी पार्टी को जिता के, they will use us as a vote bank and forget us. वहां जाओ जहां मेरा मतलब निकले। ज़ेबा यास्मीन।
Padmaja, your analysis is little different what I think. When a voter, the same voter votes in assembly election, he has a different mindset. And the same voter when votes for Lok Sabha has a different mindset. And for Nikai Chunav has a different mindset. We have same voters, but different mindset, different choice. So you cannot analyze assembly elections and Lok Sabha bipoles, right?
Okay, in Rampur you lost the assembly and the Lok Sabha. What's your answer then? Rampur you lost both. What's the answer to that?
32, what are you going to do with 32% of voting, Padmaja? Being a journalist, have you not seen how police has stopped people voting?
So I knew you were going to come up with that argument. For Rampur, you assumed that 32% was there because all those 32% were Hindus, right? That is your argument. Now let me show you a parallel from Gujarat, where in these Muslim seats, hold on a second, madam. Hold on a second. Let me give you the example from all of these Muslim seats, so-called Muslim seats in Gujarat. Abdasa is one seat where the Congress used to be in power. The BJP has taken Abdasa away from the BJP. Ma'am, you will also, I mean, we'll all benefit if we listen to actual data. This is not a shouty show. Abdasa went from Congress to BJP. Here the voting percentage is 63%. Sidhpur, it is 67.9%. Last time in Sidhpur, the voting percentage was 70%. This time also it is relatively the same, and yet the voters' mind changed. 2017 they said we will give it to the Congress. 2022 the same 70% of Sidhpur said we will give it to the BJP. So low turnout is not an excuse, ma'am. Sorry. Now go on.
Shall I speak?
Yes, go on.
For the last so many elections, when the voter is seeing that Congress is not able to form government, then obviously voter will get allured by the ruling party. So that's very obvious. It is a big heart of Muslim that after 2002 they are forgetting everything. They are, burying all the grudges, burying all bad experiences after 2002 riots. It's a very good thing they are doing.
So you're saying that the voter took 27 years to get allured and lost hope in the Congress after 27 years. What is this logic? So you're saying कि अरे क्योंकि कांग्रेस निकम्मी है इसलिए वो बीजेपी को वोट दे रहे हैं, not because बीजेपी अच्छी है, कांग्रेस निकम्मी है तो बीजेपी को वोट दे रहे हैं.
Telling you after 2002 when Muslims they are trying to forget the past and they are trying to put up their hand forward to BJP. What is BJP doing? Out of 182 seats, how many tickets have they given to Muslims? Not even a single.
But ma'am, you gave so many tickets to Muslims.
Are you not from my brother who was?
You gave tickets to Muslims. They did not win.
We are not biased.
So if in Gujarat your argument holds that the Muslims are giving the chance to the BJP only because the Congress is useless, it is similarly applicable to the Samajwadi Party in Gujarat, in Uttar Pradesh.
Out of 182, and my BJP brother sitting here from Gujarat was saying that sabka saath sabka vikas. What about you, BJP brother? Sabka saath
Zeba Yasmin, you'd be happy to know. Okay, you contested one seat in Gujarat. Fine. BJP gave 0 seats, 0 tickets to Muslims in Gujarat. Congress gave only 6. You also contested the election in Gujarat. You gave 1 ticket, but you gave it to a Hindu. Why? You should have given it to a Muslim. You contested 1 seat. आप वो एक सीट मुसलमान को दे देते.
They gave 0 out of 182.
क्यों नहीं दी? इसलिए नहीं दी क्योंकि वो जीतने वाला कैंडिडेट वही आदमी था और उसी के बूते पे आप एक सीट जीते हैं गुजरात में. That's as simple and as cynical as it gets. सच्चाई ये है that you knew that he is the only winning candidate for you, so you gave him the ticket. Kandhal Jadeja was your only winning candidate.
Check out,
so it didn't matter what his religion is.
We distribute ticket to all the communities. No.
But you did not give a Muslim a ticket in Gujarat.
I do not believe it.
You didn't give a Muslim a ticket in Gujarat. It's a fact.
A single Muslim candidate. That's the truth.
But you didn't give a Muslim a ticket in Gujarat, did you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you feel the Muslim from Porbandar?
Padmaja, why don't you have the audacity to ask BJP? I really wonder.
Because I am saying that for any party, like any organization, a ticket, a job, a post should be on the basis of their how good they are at the job. Not because मैं एक मुस्लिम और 3 हिंदू और 4 क्रिश्चियन और 1 जैन, 1 पारसी, 1 सिख को खड़ा करूंगा, वो जीतेंगे, उनको खड़ा कर देंगे.
According to BJP, not a single.
Okay, सत्येन कुलाबकर
हिसाब से एक भी गुड कैंडिडेट नहीं था मुस्लिम.
आपके पास पोरबंदर से एक भी मुस्लिम कैंडिडेट नहीं था. क्यों नहीं था? क्या पोरबंदर में मुस्लिम नहीं है? मिल जाते हैं ना अगर आप चाहते तो. सत्येन कुलाबकर
भाई 20 सीट्स में से हमने एक दिया. आप तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता को बोलने ही नहीं दे रहे, आप खुद ही डिफेंड कर रहे हैं.
Ma'am, this is the last refuge of everyone who is out of an answer. I am giving you facts, so you answer those facts. Now I am asking Satyen Kulapkar. Go on.
See, we are here. The debate is why the Muslims are voting.
Why did he?
I just did. But you interrupted when he speaking.
Let me just answer. The debate here is the trust of Muslim voters on BJP and how they have voted, what is the percentage of votes that they have given it to BJP and why BJP has won landslide. The debate is not absolutely on who has given ticket to whom. If that would have been the debate, we would have shortly talked of what you gave. You had 1 seat, you gave 100% seat to Kandhal Jadeja or that. We really don't want to get into all these things. What we want to really get into is what are the enablers that has made them trust this party and what is the good thing that is going on in Gujarat which has enabled 156 seats out of 182 and that too after 27 years of ruling. I was always made to understand my sister from SP party that one election, 2 election or probably 3rd election the anti-incumbency come into picture. But while you are talking of 27 years and on the 27th year you are increasing your vote share, you are increasing your seats to almost 57 seats out of 180 and reaching it to the highest ever in the history of Gujarat.
Okay.
That is of 182 out of 182.
You know,
your 18th chief minister.
The whole argument. I'll give you a very small example, Zeba Yasmin, and then we will go back to Kalimul Hafiz because we are saying that this is not just one phenomenon restricted to Gujarat. This is something that perhaps voters as a whole get more vigilant, get more emancipated. So you said ki when you vote for a Muslim, you think that he is going to work for you, correct, Zeba Yasmin? Now people of Rampur voted for a Muslim for 20 years. Azam Khan and his family have been voted to power by Muslims of Rampur, not Azamgarh, sorry. So what happened? 2 years ago, 26 farmers went and filed a complaint in a police station in Rampur. What did they say? That the local SHO and Azam Khan forcibly took away their lands. These are poor farmers, Zeba Yasmin. They don't have money. They only have one thing. They have the vote, the power of the vote. Now I want to tell you the names of these farmers and what they said. Here is what the report says. Hamseen is the wife of Yasin, one of the farmers who have complained against Azam Khan, a former state minister. Sitting in her courtyard, Hamseen said they have no money to get their 3 daughters married. We barely had enough money to make ends meet. Our land was our only source of income. After it was taken away by Azam Khan and his men, mostly we are dependent on cows for our livelihood. Our daughters are now unmarried and make kites to support our family. These Muslims thought they will vote for Azam Khan and he will help them. What did he do? He took away the land of 25 Muslim farmers and they are sitting there now making kites. Zeba Yasmin.
Yeah, Padmaja. If people came forward and they registered an FIR, then obviously court took the action, police took the action. I have nothing to say in between that. The case is in court.
But your argument was that Muslims should vote for Muslims क्योंकि मुसलमान का भला करते हैं. यहाँ पर a Muslim MLA took away a Muslim farmer's land and the Yogi Adityanath government is now probing that Muslim MLA for taking away Muslim farmer's land. Who is the one probing the case? Yogi Adityanath government.
Can I speak, Padmaja?
Yes, please go on, ma'am.
If you let me, can I speak, Padmaja? Yeah. I did not say that Muslims should vote for Muslim, but you did not find a single Muslim candidate out of 182. That's a big question to BJP.
Because you should not find Muslim candidates. You should find candidates जिनकी नीयत साफ है, जो कि लोगों का काम करे. Let me quote to you another person. Nazakat is 47, has 5 children and works in other people's fields. Nazakat says, today I did not find any work, so I will not have enough to eat because my wife Saira and recently sold 1 chicken and we only got 200 rupees. I have to depend on daily wage work to eat food. These are the people, ma'am, who you are saying ki, oh, don't vote for the BJP because they haven't given a Muslim candidate. Now, Nazakat, I will not be surprised, in the next election or perhaps in this election, would have used his vote to tell you exactly what he thinks about Azam Khan. Anyway,
I did not say that.
Kalimul Hafiz, आपको क्या चिंता करने की जरूरत है कि चलिए जो आप कहते थे कि so called secular parties are letting down the Muslims. But you also are not getting the kind of response that one would have expected. At least Gujarat example has shown that. क्या ये चिंता का विषय है?
नहीं, बिल्कुल. हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बैरिस्टर सिद्दीन ओवैसी साहब ने अपने रिएक्शन में रिजल्ट के बाद ये बात साफ तौर पे कही कि हम अपनी खामियों को भी देखेंगे और हम अपनी वो तमाम कमजोरियों को दूर करने की कोशिश करेंगे जिससे कि हम अपने जो गुजरात की आवाम में अपना भरोसा जता पाएं. लेकिन ये एक बात तो इससे ये तय हो गई कि ये जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो डर दिखाती थी मुस्लिम वोट बैंक का कम से कम वो कुफ्र टूट गया. अब मुस्लिमों ने भले से कितनी ही तकलीफ पहुंचाई भारतीय जनता पार्टी, लेकिन मुसलमानों ने अपने वोट से भारतीय जनता पार्टी को नवाज दिया. अब देखते हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी का असली करैक्टर क्या आता है.
Okay, so I'll give the final word to Zafar Sareshwala. मुस्लिम वोट बैंक का डर कौन दिखाता था? मुस्लिम वोट बैंक का डर कौन दिखाता था? जफर सरेशवाला.
डर तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिखाती थी और कांग्रेस दिखाती थी.
तो डर के बावजूद वो जीत क्यों रही है? क्योंकि डर के आगे जीत है. जफर सरेशवाला, फाइनल वर्ड.
सारे साधन उसके पास हैं, ईडी, सीबीआई.
सर ये तो बहुत ही काउंटर इंटुइटिव आपका आर्ग्यूमेंट है कि भाजपा डराती थी और वोटर अपने सीक्रेट बैलेट में जाके डराने वाले को वोट दे रहा है. और एक गरीब वोटर को कौन सा ईडी सीबीआई का डर है सर? कौन सा वो कोई वहां पर 10 करोड़ लेके बैठा है बेचारा? जमालपुर में कौन सा वो कोई अपना एम्पायर बना रहा है और पोर्ट बना रहा है जो ईडी सीबीआई से डर जाएगा? एनीवे, फाइनल वर्ड.
आपने 2 मुर्गों की
फाइनल वर्ड. जफर सरेशवाला. यस.
Padmaja, this what has happened in Gujarat is gaining currency across the country, and I am telling you why. I have been running this initiative called Talim o Tarbiyat, where we teach financial literacy, capital market and entrepreneurship, and we have done these programs in 55 cities in the country where I have personally visited. We have done 14 programs in UP. Last month we did 3, one in Banaras, one in Jaunpur and one in Lucknow. You know what's happening now? What thought process is coming in the Muslim community? कि मुस्लिम यादव जो समाजवादी पार्टी, मुस्लिम यादव, मुसलमान 20%, यादव 8%। लेकिन जब माले गनीमत बांटने का वक्त आता है, मुसलमान का वोट तो ले लेते हैं, लेकिन देने के टाइम पे मुसलमान को क्या दिया जाता है? वक्फ बोर्ड, हज कमेटी और कब्रिस्तान की मिनिस्ट्री। तो मुसलमान यह सोचता है कि भाई अखिलेश यादव ने हमको क्या दिया था जो योगी आदित्यनाथ ने ले लिया है। तो अब मुसलमान के जहन में यह बात आ रही है कि फायरिंग रेंज में हम क्यों आए, भाई हमको क्यों धर देते हो सामने। हिंदू भी उनके खिलाफ वोट करता है, तो मुसलमान के दिमाग में अब यह बात आ रही है कि अब हम डायरेक्टली योगी गवर्नमेंट से भी बात करेंगे और अपने मसले डायरेक्ट उनके सामने रखकर हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। तो दिस इज नाउ गेनिंग करेंसी अक्रॉस द कंट्री।
Absolutely, and that is the idea of direct democracy. Nobody is a vote bank and should never be treated as such, which is why every voter should have a single motto: सुनो सबकी, करो अपनी. And that's the power of a vote in our democracy. Thanks very much, all gentlemen. Zeba Yasmin for joining me. Thanks for watching.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टाइम शायद अंकुर तनेजा और मैं मौजूद हूं टोयोटा की नई इनोवा हाई क्रॉस के अनवेलमेंट पर। तो टोयोटा की फाइनली ये हाई क्रॉस देखने को मिल रही है, जो कि हाइब्रिड अवतार में टोयोटा लेकर आई है। इनोवा का ही हाइब्रिड अवतार कह सकते हैं। बहुत से बदलाव लेकिन क्रिस्टा के मुकाबले इस नई इनोवा हाई क्रॉस में देखने को मिलते हैं। तो क्या है वो चेंजेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजाइन, इन टर्म्स ऑफ फीचर्स एंड ऑल्सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंजन ऑप्शंस, उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस वीडियो में। सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिज़ाइन बात करें तो सबसे पहले यहाँ पे एक नया बड़ा ग्रिल जो क्रिस्टा के मुकाबले यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहा है इस हाई क्रॉस में। तो ये एक नया फेस यहाँ पर इसमें दिया गया है एंड क्रोम का सराउंडिंग्स थ्रू आउट यहाँ देखने को मिल रहा है इसके साइड में। एंड जो हेडलैम्प्स हैं वो LED हैं और पहले से थोड़े स्लीक भी।
You're watching the News Hour at 10.
Delhi Women Commission Chief Swati Maliwal faces charges of corruption on allegations of abuse of position for irregular appointments. The opposition asks Kejriwal government to sack her. After BJP swept the Gujarat elections, Bhupendra Patel submitted his resignation as the Chief Minister to the Governor. The new government will be formed in Gujarat on the 12th of December. According to sources, the Maharashtra government is soon set to introduce a law against forced conversion in the state. YSRTP chief YS Sharmila, who was sitting on a hunger strike at the Ambedkar statue in Tank Bund in Warangal, was again detained by the Telangana police. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao unfurled the party flag of Bharat Rashtra Samiti at the party headquarters in Hyderabad after the Election Commission officially approved the name change from TRS to BRS.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
हाल ही में हमने उबर का एक इवेंट अटेंड किया था, जहां पर हमें बातचीत करने का मौका मिला सूरज नायर से, जो कि है सेफ्टी ऑपरेशंस के हेड एट उबर इंडिया एज वेल एज साउथ एशिया। हमने पूछे उनसे कई सवाल, आइए देखते हैं इस वीडियो में।
I think I really can't comment on public transportation in general, but what I would definitely want to say is that we as a platform are trying to be as safe for women riders as possible. In fact, very recently we hit the milestone of training more than 100,000 drivers on the platform for gender sensitization. In fact, as the number stands right now, we have trained more than 130,000 drivers on the platform, especially on gender sensitizing.
You're watching the News Hour at 10.
While addressing the people in Kanpur, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath endorsed strict police action against criminals, and he added that preventive measures like installing CCTVs have been taken. In the Diamond Harbour rally case, the Calcutta High Court has ordered that no arrests or coercive steps can be taken against BJP MLA Agnimitra Paul till the 16th of January. The Jammu and Kashmir administration begins to collect salary details of Kashmir Pandit employees working in Kashmir after MHA sought a report. The Supreme Court has dismissed a PIL filed by Teesta Setalwad-led Citizens for Justice and Peace seeking strict regulation of religious Shobha-yatras where people brandish weapons. The All India Football Federation Secretary General said the process of creating an exclusive women's department is underway, this as part of its structural revamp.
Meta laid off 11,000 plus employees, Amazon 10,000, Twitter 3,700 plus, Snapchat 6,000. गाइस लिस्ट और भी लंबी है और अगर एक हेडलाइन जो हर न्यूज़पेपर, हर न्यूज़ चैनल चला रहा है आजकल, that's about layoffs affecting the big tech industry. Big tech companies are in big trouble. एक टाइम था जब ये इंडस्ट्री फ्यूचर प्रूफ थी एंड जॉब सिक्योरिटी के लिए काफी जानी जाती थी, बट रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी के नाम पे भर भर के जॉब कट्स हो रहे हैं. सो क्या टेक का ड्रीम रन ओवर हो चुका है? What lies ahead? Let's find out in this video and I'm Sumita Karir. बिग टेक का बिग रीसेट मोमेंट आ चुका है गाइस. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक्स फर्स्ट. एक्सटेंट ऑफ लेऑफ्स की बात करें तो 2022 में मोर देन 1,37,492 वर्कर्स हैव बीन लेड ऑफ अक्रॉस 850 प्लस टेक कंपनीज. बट हाउ डिड बिग टेक गेट हियर? Well, number one, misplaced pandemic boom. Online businesses में boom हुआ after the COVID-19 pandemic, where everybody was stuck at home. सब घर पे बैठ के ऑर्डर कर रहे थे, नेटफ्लिक्स पे कंटेंट देख रहे थे और सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे थे. तो नेचुरली बिजनेसेस ने वहां स्पेंड करना शुरू कर दिया जहां ग्रोथ दिखी. लाइक मेटा ओवरस्पेंट ऑन मेटावर्स, AR VR टेक्नोलॉजीज टू द ट्यून ऑफ, कुछ रिपोर्ट्स बोल रही हैं, अराउंड $36 बिलियन. एंड बाय द वे मेटावर्स कोई 1-1.5 साल में तो सेटअप नहीं होने वाला है. सो ओवर ऑप्टिमिज्म दैट दिस डिजिटल बूम विल फॉरएवर स्टे. इसकी वजह से इन्वेस्टर्स भी पैसा डालते गए, हायरिंग्स और स्पेंड्स बढ़ते गए. और जैसे ही कोविड रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लिफ्ट हुए तब आया स्टोरी में ट्विस्ट. नाउ ये डिमांड जो है डिजिटल इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए, डिजिटल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज के लिए, ये सस्टेन नहीं रही. बिकॉज ऑफिस जाना है तो कितना फेसबुक यूज करोगे, कितना नेटफ्लिक्स देखोगे. एंगेजमेंट इन सारे प्लेटफॉर्म से गिर गई एंड ग्रोथ सस्टेन नहीं हुई. Zoom फॉर इंस्टेंस, द वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग कंपनी, उसके शेयर्स अभी 90% डाउन है. नंबर 2, दूसरा रीजन है ग्लोबल इन्फ्लेशन एंड मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक ट्रेंड्स. नाउ जब ग्रोथ गिर गई तो उसके बाद आया इन्वेस्टर्स का प्रेशर टू फिक्स वैल्यूएशंस. ऊपर से रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर ने इन्फ्लेशन, इंटरेस्ट रेट सबको बढ़ा दिया, व्हिच इज पुट प्रेशर ऑन द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी. डिपिंग रेवेन्यू. इसके बाद क्या हुआ? एडवर्टाइजर्स ने भी लेस स्पेंडिंग करना शुरू कर दिया और ओवरऑल रेवेन्यूज जो थे इन डिजिटल कंपनीज के वो गिरने शुरू हो गए. फेसबुक का रेवेन्यू वाज डाउन 52% इन Q3 ऑफ दिस ईयर. गूगल टू रिपोर्टेड द स्लोएस्ट ग्रोथ इन 10 years. सो नाउ दीज कंपनीज आर टाइटनिंग देयर बेल्ट and, in their words, becoming more streamlined and hence slashing jobs. In fact, many companies like Meta, amongst others, are now reducing real estate and enabling desk sharing. Snapchat is letting go of its offices in San Francisco. So, tightening the belt to save costs and hence firing more people. और जो US में होता है उसका असर पूरे वर्ल्ड में तो आता ही है. And that's why firings have also been seen in India. जॉब कट्स यहाँ पे भी हो रहे हैं. बट बेसिक प्रॉब्लम जो है ओवरऑल इसकी ये है कि टेक एज एन इंडस्ट्री हैज मैच्योर्ड. ये स्टार्टिंग के एक्सट्रीम फंडिंग और ग्रोथ के फेज में नहीं है. अब इशू है इनोवेशन का. सो ये रिकॉन्फ़िगरेशन का टाइम है, रीसेट का टाइम है. तो प्रेशर ऑब्वियसली रहेगा सस्टेन्ड प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी के ऊपर. But does this mean that the golden run of tech is over forever? Well, for now it is, but not for too long. I'll tell you why. 1-2 साल के बाद सब वापस आएंगे जॉब्स देने के लिए। अभी जस्टिफाई करना है कंपनीज को, इन्वेस्टर्स को फायरिंग करके कॉस्ट कटिंग से, बट ये ज्यादा टाइम तक नहीं चल सकता बिकॉज बिजनेस को प्रॉफिटेबल बनाने के लिए बाकी चीजों पे जैसे प्रोडक्ट स्ट्रैटेजी पे भी ध्यान देना होगा, जिसके लिए वर्कफोर्स बढ़ानी पड़ेगी। नंबर 2, टेक इज द फ्यूचर, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट दैट। सो कंपनीज विल नीड टू इन्वेस्ट इन न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज, जिसके लिए अगेन दे नीड टू रीहायर। एंड नंबर 3, इंडिया यहाँ पे बेटर प्लेस्ड है। व्हाई? बिकॉज टेक कंपनीज यूएस में एम्प्लॉइज को हाई सैलरीज देती है टू द ट्यून ऑफ $200,000 और वहां पे मोस्टली इंडियंस काम करते हैं। और वहां पे और भी एक्सपेंसेस हैं फॉर कंपनीज लाइक इंश्योरेंस, पर्क्स, ऊपर से बे एरिया इज वन ऑफ द कॉस्टलीस्ट एरियाज। तो उसकी जगह अगर काम इंडिया में आउटसोर्स कर देंगे तो उनके लिए भी कॉस्ट कम होगी। सो बिग टेक बिग तो बहुत हो गया है, बट अब चैलेंज होगा उसके पास ग्रोथ वर्सेस प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी के ऊपर फोकस रखना। एंड गाइस, दीज फायरिंग्स कैन बी कंसिडर्ड जस्ट अ ब्लिप, बट ओवरऑल कोर्स जो है वो काफी लंबा होगा बिकॉज रिमेंबर टेक इज द फ्यूचर। सो लेट मी नो व्हाट यू थिंक ऑफ द स्टोरी। फॉर एवरीथिंग ऑन टेक, कीप फॉलोइंग गैजेट टाइम्स पावर्ड बाय टाइम्स नाउ।
हेलो एवरीवन, स्वागत है आप सभी का टाइम्स ड्राइव के इस वीडियो में। मैं हूं अंकुर तनेजा और मेरे बगल में खड़ी है शकोडा कुशाक का एनिवर्सरी एडिशन। टाइगुन के एनिवर्सरी एडिशन के बाद अब कुशाक का भी एनिवर्सरी एडिशन आ गया है। चेंजेस क्या हैं उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस वीडियो में। तो सबसे पहले जो चेंज फ्रंट में देखने को मिलेगा, इसमें ग्रिल में क्रोम का एलिमेंट यहां पर ऐड करा गया है। तो ये एक नया एलिमेंट यहां पर इस कुशाक के एनिवर्सरी एडिशन में देखने को मिल रहा है। फ्रंट में इसके अलावा हेडलाइट्स, बम्पर का डिजाइन सब कुछ पहले जैसा है, कोई बदलाव वहां पर देखने को नहीं मिल रहा। देन साइड में आए तो यहाँ पर भी कॉस्मेटिक बदलाव हुए हैं, जैसे कि ये डोर में यहाँ वाइजर दिया गया है, इधर ये डोर प्रोटेक्टर्स दिए गए हैं, नीचे भी इधर क्रोम का एलिमेंट यहाँ पर इसमें इस एनिवर्सरी एडिशन में ऐड करा गया है। एंड पीछे की तरफ आए तो यहाँ पर ये एनिवर्सरी एडिशन के डीकैल्स इधर इस सी पिलर में यहाँ पे कुशाक के इस एनिवर्सरी एडिशन में देखने को मिल रहे हैं। सो एक्सटीरियर की बात करें तो चेंजेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्सटीरियर ये कुछ यहाँ पर करे गए हैं। इंटीरियर की बात करें तो वहाँ पर जो चेंज हुआ है, तो पहला चेंज हुआ है स्टीयरिंग जो है इसका, वहाँ पर इसमें एनिवर्सरी एडिशन की बैजिंग दी गई है, तो वो एक बदलाव इसमें देखने को मिलेगा। एंड इसमें जो है स्क्रीन जो है 10 इंच का दिया गया है, जबकि नॉर्मल कुशाक में 8 इंच का स्क्रीन देखने को मिलता है। मॉन्टी कार्लो जो एडिशन है उसमें 10 इंच का है, अब इसमें भी 10 इंच का स्क्रीन देखने को मिलता है। देन पिलोज जो है इसमें ये पिलोज दिए गए हैं फ्रंट पैसेंजर और रियर पैसेंजर्स के लिए। एंड जो इसके मैट हैं वो भी अब 3D मैट इसमें अब कुशाक में एनिवर्सरी एडिशन में स्कोडा के साथ दे रही है। एंड फाइनल चेंज जो हुआ है वो है इसका ये की कवर जो देख रहे हैं, ये लेदर टाइप की कवर इसमें दिया गया है की के साथ, जो इस एनिवर्सरी एडिशन के साथ स्कोडा इसमें दे रही है। बात करूं ऑप्शंस की, इंजन ऑप्शंस की, तो 1 लीटर 1.5 लीटर दोनों में ही अवेलेबल होने वाली है। टॉप वेरिएंट्स में मैनुअल और ऑटोमेटिक